All right, we're switching over. I think we're working now.
Okay.
Oh, there's all your faces again. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Right, this is
Hello.
Eat of the Earth, episode
Hello.
2. If there's anyone watching right now, and I think there is, well, hey. Yeah, to those who are, this is Eat of the Earth. It's a science fantasy world where the ancient gods have long abandoned it, but the strange and magical machinery they left behind can still be used by lesser folk such as these. I'm Liam, the
Who are you calling a lesser folk?
sinister dungeon master, and should we go round in order and introduce ourselves a bit? Harry, do you want to go first? And your character, if you want, you know.
I'm Harry. I'm just Harry.
Sure.
Yeah, a solid reference, right?
Yeah, really good.
And my character is Zurab. That's spelled Z-U-R-A-B, but just for everyone else, it's pronounced Z, not Z, in accordance with sort of standard Georgian pronunciation.
Sure.
At home learning fun with Harry Robertson.
I know,
Amelia.
it's great. Don't say my second name. Someone come to my house.
I don't think I've ever mispronounced Zurab.
There you go.
Oh, very funny. Very funny.
Boo.
Amelia, who are you playing?
Ha, 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 ha.
No, because
Is that it?
All right, fine.
No one else has any names.
No, I said Amelia, who are you playing? But I don't think you heard, so we'll just.
I didn't. I'm Amelia, and I'm playing Lola. It's spelled not like Lola's normally spelled to give it a fantastical element, but it's pronounced Lola.
Cool.
So
Shannon?
I'm playing Corellia. Both Shannon and Corellia are spelt how you would think they'd be spelt.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, people
Keeping
can
it
see
simple.
our names on the name of our characters on the screen. If you want to go into
I
the
know,
character,
but
that's
I
fine.
was just keeping with the theme of everyone else.
Sam, do you want to describe your character?
Yes, I'm Sam. I'm playing Barnelect, Barney for short, and that is how it's spelled. He is a camel boy, a young boy who looks like a camel. Camel boy. How did I do, Liam?
That's great. No, good for you. Definitely, you get points for that. And lastly, Grace.
My name's Grace. I'm playing Ailey. She's a mystic, and she's covered all over in a fine layer of dark fur like a cat. And I've been informed that means that she is a jellicle person.
What's that
Got a
fucking
great
noise?
revving motorbike in the background in that, Grace.
Oh, sorry. I live on a main road. I can't help that.
It's not worry, Shannon. All right, cool. Shall we get into recapping the last session, unless anyone else has anything to say?
I just wanted to say I'm sorry for laughing during that, Grace. I just remember you saying that you looked a little bit like one of the cats from the movie Cats before, and that made me.
That's what a
Relive
jellicle
the
cat
fun.
is, Sam.
I think
Sorry.
possibly her tribe might be the Jellicle tribe.
fuck.
Now, this is some horrendous far future where, the Jellicle cat's CGI was extracted and, rendered into flesh and has since prospered.
That's the only thing that they found after the Earth was destroyed was the DVD version of Cats.
Andrew Lloyd Webber was a mystic and a prophet.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well,
Can you introduce yourself with a next time?
So that
Like,
again?
can you introduce yourself with a song next time? Maybe
No,
edit
I
Mr. Misopheles or something. I don't know the words, but I'm sure we can.
We'll do a
I mean,
musical. We'll do a
it would be
musical episode
appropriate.
at some point.
Oh yes.
Every single Cat song is basically just "This is my name, this is what I do."
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they all decide which one goes to cat heaven. It's very, very fun.
Which one goes to?
Really?
Which one gets the wish of cat death? Right?
Yeah. Wait, Liam, do you not know this? Like, the
No, I
cats
They get taken away on a spaceship at the end.
They're in like a suicide cult. It's really, really
Yeah.
bad.
Well, that's charming.
They-
Shall we get on to D&D rather than talking about...
Yeah. Sorry. Apologies.
No, let's talk about
It's
cats for
important-
3
it's
hours.
important characterization of my character's backstory.
It really is.
Trying to get into Jellicle heaven. Okay, cool. So, last time we came to know the land of Alakvazi, this quiet corner of the world that has recently become politically unsettled as this great ancient city of the gods has risen from the earth in the west, ripe for plunder. Adding to the problem, the Oseth, these once noble, bone-skinned people, have fled to the land of Alekvazi following the fall of their kingdom within the Gibis jungle southeast, and they have brought with them the shale plague, this terrible affliction that causes one's skin to crumble like the stone of its namesake. It was in Osyro, this fledgling town built by Oseth refugees, that our story began, where Carillia had been using her healing abilities to tend to the people there what little she could. Ailey, a pilgrim, had been carried unconscious into Osyro, having fallen while travelling the Silent Steppe, this vast kind of flat, rocky place beyond which is the land of Odrum. And in Osyro, Carillia returned her to health. For your own reasons and at the request of Sethnet, this local leader amongst the Oseth, Ailey and Carillia resolved to help the wise woman Lepore travel north to Behel, this city of wizards in Alekvazi. Meanwhile, within Behel, we met Barnelect. Now, Sam, tell me if I'm pronouncing this right. Kippertop, or is it Keepertop?
Keepertop, yes, it's correct.
A dromad, this camel person, and your friend Lox, this lion-headed woman. Both of you are kind of guards, entourage, in service to this wizard, Cybis Ilehk, who among the other rulers of Behel has met with Moda Rayfort, who's this noble diplomat visiting Behel from the Thype Empire to the east. After the day's meetings had been concluded with Rayfort, all of the warriors within Ilehk's retinue were sacked summarily, with the kind of exception of Barnelect and Lox, who were kind of promised you maybe rehired fairly quickly, but everyone else is being centralized into this single army. We were then introduced to Jurab, this member of Moda Rayfort's entourage, who had been effectively traded to Ilehk as part of an exchange of gifts. Ilehk had presented Zurab with his guns, which you hadn't had for a long time. Guns are these strange, heretical weapons that use this magic to kill at a distance and roar like thunder when used, and are wholly really unknown to most people. Ilehk asked Jurab to shoot him in this slightly madcap display of a gun's power. The first bullet seemed to just pass clean through Ilehk, and on the second shot, Jurab, you became unable to pull the trigger. He then explained that he had enchanted your guns and asked of you what you desired most in the world. We then cut away back to Ailey, Carillia, and Lepore as you walked the road northwards to Behel. Along the way, you saw guards capture a woman carrying many strange herbs on her person and have her placed in a caged cart. This was the Wiccan you came to know as Lola. Approaching the guards, having seen this dealing, they informed you that the Oseth Lepore would have to turn back to Osyro. Her kind, for fear of the plague, are banned from the city of Behel. And Ailey, having only recently come to Osyro, and so they're unsure if she carries the shell plague, would also have to travel in this cage if you wanted to come into the city itself. Carillia, having been in Osyro for a number of days and having shown no symptoms at this point, you were deemed safe. So agreeing to all of this, Lepore, kind of disheartened, turned back, but the two of you, to however much extent you want to say, gave your word that you would help. While coming closer to Behel, 3 men in similar equipment to the guards who were escorting you approached and demanded that Lola be handed to them, but they were rebuffed by the guard captain, who I don't think you got the name of. You did chat with them a bit. Eventually, you reached Behel as evening came in, and you were taking through the winding streets of this place to a small, quiet courtyard where, under the shadow of the Tower of Behel, and through strange magic, an apparition of Ilehk appeared before you and asked what you desired most in the world. That was the recap. Was there any details from the last session that anyone wants to ask about at all before we start?
Just because I show no symptoms doesn't mean I don't carry the plague. Stay safe. Be aware.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. And I will say, because everyone did such a good job last session, You all have inspiration for this one.
Yay!
I kind of forgot to give it
Yes.
last time. That's my bad.
Yes.
Anyway, before we get into things, just to give an idea of Behel again. So Behel rests before the steep banks of the Zura River. This city has grown around the tower from which it gets its name. The tower itself is this ancient place under which is said to be these alchemical pools the wizards who inhabit the tower draw from. Lending some credence to this tale, there is this column of purple smoke eternally rising from the tower's peak. Beyond the tower, there's these blocky buildings of sandstone and pale clay that are arranged into these angular streets that disperse the hot winds that come in from the east. There's only one proper road within Behel that cuts through it, shaped by traders who over the centuries have travelled eastwards or westwards through it, and the entire city is encased within walls that in a time of peace have largely fallen into disrepair. They're kind of more an aesthetic thing, although the sculptures on them aren't particularly preserved. As you may come to know, the only still maintained gate here is the one that opens onto the bridge over the Zura. Just north of Behel are the Bekfi terraces, these descending paddy fields that are carved into the sides of the landscape. Actually, I should switch the map screen for this. Hold on. There we go. And it's here that they grow ruz, this particular grain that feeds the city. Beyond that, the surrounding landscape is this kind of shallow, stony valley on the east side of Alakvazi. And
Quick question.
Yeah?
Ruz.
Ruz.
Is that just like rice?
Yeah, it's Arabic for rice, but if I just say rice, people will think the small grain, whereas in this setting, it's called finger grain because it's the size of a finger, each
Like
grain.
long grain basmati.
Yeah, very, very long grain basmati, I suppose, you might say.
Right.
Thick basmati.
Yeah.
Are we talking like white rice or brown rice or weird rice?
We'll say yellowish rice to make it slightly more otherworldly.
Okay.
And in the land on this side of Alakvazi, kind of only really shrubbery and a kind of occasional gnarled tree can find purchase in the thin, stony soil here. Lastly, trade is... Oh, there's the police. Onto our D&D. Trade is essential to the city, so much so that the tower that rules Behel houses not just wizards, but also merchant lords, people who have kind of bought their way into official positions of political power. At the city centre, there is a bazaar that shrinks and grows with the arrival and departure of merchants like a beating heart. And this heart has grown particularly swollen as of late with the arrival of Muda Rayfort and her entourage, which does include an entire half-legion of plumed and gleaming soldiers, most of whom have set these elegant white tents on the other side of the Zura, just before Behel's bridge. Now, last time we left off with all of you gathering, but we're going to go a little bit back in time to just after Zurab has fired his gun at Ilehk. To re-describe Cybus Ilehk, he's this very dark-skinned wizard. His eyes and teeth have this blue stain to them, and he has this very kind of well-shaped and sculpted haircut that is kind of like a crescent that goes over the back of the head. In terms of mutation, he has one arm that is only about 6 inches long, but the other is of regular length. And those who know him will fairly quickly hear the story that apparently he does not age at all. He's remained the same kind of late 30s, 40-year-old man, which is still comes across as quite old, particularly in this setting where a lot of people will die around the age of 33 around is the average. So you are within this sandstone and wood-panelled chamber. This thunderous roar of the gun has rung out through the place. Barney has probably jumped a bit. Lox has probably in one move kind of leapt to her feet and kind of stood back unsure of what's going on. Ilek's assistant, Nuch, who's also here, kind of has his eyebrows kind of raised, but has a certain air of indifference, perhaps used to slightly mad and astonishing and loud displays, given his many years of service to Ilehk. Ilehk has just said to you, Zurab, what does your heart desire most in the world? What's anyone doing?
I'm a little bit shaky, so I'm just kind of gazing at Jurab at the minute and awaiting an answer.
Sure. Harry, does Zurab say anything?
Is my finger like still stuck?
So when you try to squeeze this trigger, it's like some force is pushing back against you. There's a little bit of give. If you've ever felt like trying to push two magnets together or something, it's a little like that. But ultimately, the like if you push it too far, the force is too much, and you can't pull the trigger all the way.
Okay, interesting. What have you done with my finger?
I've done nothing to the finger. It's the object itself that I've affected. Fingers are a little outside of my domain.
What exactly do you want with me? I'm gonna need some practice to get it.
It's all right. No, we'll all keep going on. I mean, it's not like I'm any good at accents.
You're a lot better than me. Anyway.
Well, I did ask you a question, but it's really just a kind of conversation opener, icebreaker kind of. Don't worry about it. You seem like more of a creature of action. Look, on Thipe's suggestion against my own, the fighting men and women of Behel are being brought together under a single army, which is unfortunately a little outside of my command. And I have need of people who can be surreptitious warriors. The gun itself strikes me as something small, concealable, certainly unrecognizable to those who do not know of them. Perfectly suitable for a warrior who doesn't appear as such. You understand?
I think so, but I still don't know exactly why you're offering me whatever I want in the world if you just mercenary.
I wasn't offering. I was merely asking. Barney, you raised your hand. You know you can speak freely in my presence. Come on.
I know. So I was just wondering.
Oh, God damn it.
We have lost.
We've lost Harry. He's back now.
He's gone.
Sorry.
I apologize.
That's all right. Sorry, Barney was saying.
So I was just wondering. You said that you needed me and Lux for something, but and then decided to bring in this man, and then got him to fire a gun at you, and then he couldn't fire the gun. So I was just wondering what part I was playing in all of this, and also what part my friend here is playing in this.
Well, I mean, so I'd rather hit you. I just hit you with the rather unfortunate news of your, unemployment. And I figured, a display of some magic you may not have seen before might be a good way to cheer you up. And he kind of looks at you with innocent eyes, almost as like, right. Of course, right?
Okay. So, well, I mean, thank you.
Yes,
I would.
Good.
Is there anything else that you need from us, sir? Or
well, I was getting to that, Barney. I really wanted, I wanted to bring you down, bring you back up, and then we can talk business, as it were. But look, Zurab here hasn't really played into my conversational gambit, so let's just get down to brass tacks. I'm not sure if metallurgy has advanced to the point where they know what brass is, but whatever. Bronze tacks. As you just heard me say to Zurab, I have need of people who can handle themselves in a scrap. Not that it will necessarily come to it. I just have, a need for protection for dear Nook here, and indicates back to his servant who's just been standing behind, who just kind of nods. Nook has not said anything so far. Barney, you know that Nook tends to stay very quiet. For a rather sensitive situation that'll be coming to a head soon. Here's the thing, Barney. I mean, as I said previously, the new army won't be bringing in any muscle who hasn't worked for us for at least 6 months. Matters of trust, of course. I mean, I raised these concerns with the council, and, you know, as out of place it seemed, they seemed to agree with me that, those who, you know, hadn't proven their service, you know, it may not be the best strategy to place them into this more centralized army where we may see tensions, cross allegiances, so on and so forth. So tragically, you aren't being re-employed into that, and you know can remain working for me, at least for the time being. Although I will say now, look, if anyone asks, I have cut you loose. You're not officially working for me if you want the job. But look, point is, you're a dromad. People are used to you traveling. You're kind. You probably know some of the ways still, contacts, all those things. People won't give you a second glance if they see you making your way with saddlebags on beasts of burden. So yes, I think that, you know, I can still find use for you. I mean, is this? I'm assuming this is something you're interested in, but
Yeah, yes, thank you, sir. I just wanted clarification. That's all I wanted. Thank you.
happy to provide. So let's get back to you, Zurab. And he kind of puts his fingers together. How are you feeling about this? You know, you've seen a change in employment, but you know we're putting you to work rather fast. So
I don't think you have an interesting definition of the word unemployment or employment here. I believe you own me now.
well, I mean, things aren't quite so formalized as they may be within Thype. You were given as a gift, but it certainly, you know, could be at my discretion. You aren't had it on someone else or such.
Is that something that I could rely on if we were to complete whatever it is that you want us to do?
No, I mean, I'm not thinking of anything so barbaric as that. I mean, can you truly own a person, really? These are questions that I myself don't know the answer to. So I'm very happy to provide.
You own me.
This guy's a fucking lib, isn't he?
Oh yeah, no. These are supposed to be like the worst, like liberal wizards, libertarian wizard lords. Look, I don't want to pressure you into anything you feel uncomfortable with, but I would really super appreciate it if you worked for me, and I can still pay you. I mean, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a great deal.
I mean, personally, I don't know you. Jurab, is it Jurab?
Yes. Hello.
Yes. Hello. I don't know you very well. At all. But myself and my friend here have worked for this lovely. What was your name again? Sorry, I keep. What's your name again? Sorry, I'm not asking.
Who you work for, or Ilehk? Do you mean
Ilehk?
Yeah.
I've been working with Ilehk for a while now. He pays well. He seems very nice from the dealings I've had with him. So I'm just saying.
Well, look, you don't have to make a decision right away. Look, the thing is this: I can pay you very well, but also I'm a wizard. I'm someone of great arcane knowledge, knowledge of history, all these kind of things. I can help you in ways that you may not have considered with a more simple employer. So, look, I'll get to some tea. You can sit down here, talk with Barney and Lox, and you see that, I mean, Ilehk has kind of not even really registered it, but Lox is still kind of like hackles raised back, sharp fingernails out towards Zurab, kind of still clearly very startled by the gunfire. We can have some tea brought in, talk it over, get a sense for things. If you don't like it, you can walk away. I'm not sure where to, but you can certainly walk away. I do have some matters to attend to, rather sharpish, and you do see that Nook has leaned over and is kind of whispering something in Ilek's ear. But does that sound agreeable?
Yes. Goodbye.
Well, you can stay here in the room. I mean,
I looked.
I thought he had some matters to attend to. Doesn't that imply he's leaving?
No, he hasn't implied he's leaving.
All right.
I looked to Lox and as if to say, like, what do you think?
Lox kind of eventually breaks eyes from the gun in Zurab's hand, or as Zurab, I will say that kind of. So you got open this wooden box that contained your 2 guns and 24 bullets, and do keep track of that number. Perhaps underneath the red velvet.
I've used 2 of them already. Jeez.
Underneath the red velvet are perhaps your holsters as well, or you may have had new holsters made for you. Actually, yeah, I would say that Rayfort has had. There's probably 2 new but kind of left for a long while, kind of made for the fancy of it, leather holsters underneath a kind of compartment under the red velvet. Are you still holding the guns, or have you kind of holstered them away?
I don't really have a holster, do I? Because I'm dressed in this sort of bullshit frippery.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a belt with them, I'll say.
Yeah, I shoved them into my belt.
Sure. So Lox slightly, the hackles kind of go down a bit. She kind of looks over to you. Sorry, what was Barney's question?
Just what do you think?
Oh, was that aimed at me?
No, that was aimed at Lox.
Not a fan of surprises. I think I'll have some tea.
Okay.
And she kind of slightly grumpily just kind of like sits down on the ground. The boards around you creak slightly with her seating. Nook will go into another room. If Zurab does stay in here, eventually a kind of small, a short wooden table may be brought in with some tea brought on top as well, if you want to show up. But Zurab is free to leave, so far as you're aware. No one's tried to make you stay. And
no, I'm sticking around, don't worry.
Ilehk strikes you as a guy who's so kind of, in terms of a business sense, so checked out that really you could probably navigate this fairly well if you wanted to. But sure, okay, so you're served a few cups of hot tea. You see in the meantime that, let me just check my notes. So there's a bit of toing and froing, and there's this room kind of at the back, a doorway at the back of the place that Nook has kind of gone in and out of a few times. And eventually this large mirror, just this perfect oblong, no dents, no scratches, just geometrically perfect, is brought in, set into this carved wooden frame that you can tell has been made to contain this object. They're not remotely of the same quality. Although the mirror is just a sheer, flat surface, no detail to it, the impossibility of the quality of the reflection does strike you to those who look. It is like the stillest pool of water, whereas the closest any of you will have come to was like a polished bowl of bronze metal, which can only get to kind of the point of making out a kind of blurred version of yourself. While you're sitting there sipping tea, Ilehk kind of approaches this thing, stands in front of it, and starts to make kind of slight gestures to himself, and you can catch the faintest bit of muttering coming from his lips, although you can't hear him saying anything out loud. Are you saying any words over cups of tea? Lox is kind of sitting there quietly, just kind of going from regarding Zurab to regarding Ilehk. Does anyone say anything?
No, I'm being brooding and mysterious.
Okay, you all brood. So you see that Ilehk begins to speak in this language none of you know, and makes hand gestures at the mirror. And as he speaks, and then in response to the gestures, these yellowy glyphs begin to flicker onto this mirror, and then kind of roll and slide around with the direction of his hands. The symbology of this completely escapes any of you, but eventually, after about 10 minutes of gesticulating and speaking in this slightly sinister language, you see that the reflection in the mirror obfuscates. It almost becomes this kind of flickering like snow. Not that any of you would know what that is. Actually, you might. It will sometimes snow in Alekvazi. And you hear this sound as the snow clears on the mirror, and it is as if you're now looking through a window, and you see, I can just faintly hear the back of a cart. So you hear the clattering of wheels and large lizard feet upon a gravelly road, and you see two people sitting within a bronze cage, just kind of jostled and bounced by the stones in the road. You see who you may later come to know as Lola and Ailey. You can tell this thing is overshadowed. In response to seeing this, you see that Ilehk kind of leans in close, eyes squinting, scrutinizing the people in this thing. But regarding the one closer in the cart, who is this fairly ordinary-looking human mutant, she has these satchels and bags to her that you can see kind of the occasionally catching the light, these herbs and plants poking out of. Ilehk, after scrutinizing her for about a minute perhaps, goes, "Brilliant, okay, good. But, okay." And he just kind of starts talking to himself. Kind of a mix of satisfaction and annoyance at something.
Does there seem to be a problem, sir?
No, just no, everything's fine, Barney. Don't worry about it. Barney, you've got a thing for a good eye for people. What do you look at this? And he kind of points to these two overshadowed figures, who you can only really make out largely only the silhouettes of, given they are in a bronze cage with a tarp over it. What do you think of these two?
Sir, I can't really see them, but they seem like good people. This is good as it is if he's waiting to get a response from Ilehk either to be like, or.
Yeah, I mean, I think give me an insight check.
First roll of the game. Hey, yo.
Are you trying to read your employer rather than the people in front of you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, do I just press 1d20?
You just rolled some d4s, I think, or it might be me actually. Hold on.
No, that was me. Is it? Do you just put d20? Fine. It doesn't.
Yeah, you should just be able to click on it and then click the d20 and then it will roll. Whatever. I'll roll for you for now.
Can you roll for me, please? Thank you.
You got a 16 plus whatever your insight modifier is.
Insight modifier. Sorry, bear with. Insight. +4, so 20.
Oh, blimey, okay.
Non-natural 20.
Yeah, so you kind of say, I think they're good, and then look to Ilehk and look into his innocent eyes, and you go, oh no, hold on, this guy is kind of, it's a bit beyond good and evil. Doesn't really register. So you think that saying good doesn't really clock anything with Ilehk.
Okay. They seem racked with mystery, sir.
Racked with, I like that. That's good.
But they also seem to take good care of their horses. Their horses seem to be in fine condition.
So I should say the cart is drawn by two lizards you can't see. I was just you would recognise the sound of lizards.
Those lizards.
You may recall last time that the guards who apprehended Lola.
I remember you saying, alas, sure. I forgot.
Right, and he kind of dunk dunk on the glass against the one over Lola. Goes, this one look sickly to you at all?
She seems a little bit more huddled over, but doesn't seem too sick.
Right. Okay, well, sure. Okay.
What's plaguing your mind? Oh, no, I mean, what's on your mind? That's insensitive for the time.
No, matters beyond your concern, I think, Barney. I just
Okay.
Some things to think about. Anyway, and you see he makes some gestures, and the mirror kind of fuzzes over for a second, and returns to being just a mirror again. Oh God, Harry's vaping again, isn't he?
God, I hope so.
Oh, this guy. So
I'm not vaping. I just had to get the door. All
okay,
right.
sorry. He makes gestures. The mirror returns to being a mirror, and again, just looks like a plain, if immaculate, mirror. Look, okay. Let's deal with this first. Harry, are you there at all, or?
I think he's gone.
Oh, great.
We lost him. Let's keep talking about cats.
Who can do the best Yorick impression? They can take Harry's role.
Yeah, I feel that you controlling Jurab's decisions at this moment, where he decides if he wants to be employed or potentially makes the party strike out on their own, is kind of Harry's decision,
No, it's my decision now. Yes, we shall
I'm the
party
captain now.
together.
Which was the character where Sean Connery was my dad?
What?
Oh,
God.
Nash.
well, you ran around the house a lot.
I think we did a D&D
Oh,
game
yeah.
ages ago, and you played a character called Nash, whose dad I always did a Sean Connery voice.
They're incredible.
Can you do a Sean Connery?
No. So.
Are we all just leaving now? Is the game over?
Oh, I'm waiting for
Yeah,
Harry.
but
He's
bye.
just disappeared. But I guess we've got to. Okay. What can I describe while Harry's not here? Ilehk has waved this thing away.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Harry, how you doing?
Harry is here.
It's very.
Oh, I'm very
You
bright.
look like
very
an
bright.
angel.
I know, it's nice. I hope it stays like this and doesn't adjust.
So you haven't. Okay. So Ilehk,
Sorry, have I missed anything vital?
No. Well, we were waiting for you. Ilehk dismisses this view into some distant place upon the mirror. Kind of indicates to Nook, and Nook begins to take this thing out, and he comes to sit with you at the small table you're all seated around. Well, look, I mean, so here's the thing. You haven't been talking. I want to be a good employer, so I don't want to pressure you into anything that you don't have to yet. I have Nuh over there, who is leaving on Lizardback on the morning of the day after tomorrow. If you join him, if you can take care of him along the way, I will be in your debt. And as a wizard, that should hold great value to some of you. Barney, Locks, I'm very happy to continue paying your standing wage for as long as I can. Zurab, I'm not sure what to offer you.
Listen, I'm not going to ask for payment, but there are certain, provisions that it's quite necessary for me to have. Now, you've already got me to waste 2 of my bullets. I only have 22 now.
I think you only fired a gun once. You
No, I
pull
fired
the
it
trigger
twice.
the second time.
I pulled the trigger the second time. All right,
couldn't pull
change
the
that back
trigger.
on my sheet. But you've already made me waste 1 of my bullets. What am I going to do with, now down only to 23? Hardly a massive number. I mean, I probably know I'm lying at this point. I assume 23 is actually quite a lot of bullets.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm angling for more. I'm definitely angling for
Give
more.
me a, I'm going to say deception. Because you don't quite believe your own words here.
Not actually sure what my deception is.
Rolled a
Oh
6.
dear. I don't know what my... Oh dear. That's a 6. Bollocks.
23 bullets. Not enough. Well, look, I mean, if you're not concerned with being paid, I can certainly square any debt by giving you more. He kind of regards it for a point. I can probably give you more bullets. I think that might be something I can do. If you really want to be paid in bullets, I can pay you in bullets.
Bullets and, enough water to make the journey would do me fine.
Provisions will be made. Really, you don't want anything else?
I want a lot of bullets. That's all he cares about.
Okay, all right, fine. A man who likes bullets. There's a certain charm to that, I suppose. I was really hoping for something more. I don't know. It seems mundane to me. But that being said, I mean, these are bullets, you know? Bullets. Okay. I mean, that works for me. I think the deal is struck. A new Barney and Locks. You're gonna.
I could use a new hat as well, actually. Just as it comes to my top of my head. This one's getting rather old and disgusting.
A regular hat or some kind of.
Made from leather, probably white brimmed. A Stetson, I think you say in America.
Yeah, boy.
It's just a regular hat.
I just want a cowboy hat.
Right. Okay. I will say actually on Barney's 20 insight, do you think if anything, I would say Barney residually can pick up that Ilehk is disappointed, if anything. Barney and Locks, any thoughts? As I say, you have time to think about it.
Can I quickly just like tap Locks on the shoulder and just like turn around for us to have a quick.
I mean, she's sitting next to you, so she can just turn to look at you. Or are you trying to like go away and?
Oh yeah, covert.
So you're gonna tap on Locks' shoulder, get up and walk into a corner of this room. That's not that big.
Yes, that's exactly what we're gonna do.
Right. Okay. Locks kind of looks at you quizzically, but gets up and goes to this corner with you. Ilehk looks at Zura and goes, "What do you think they're talking about?" Anyway, what's Barney saying?
What do you think they're talking about? What do you think we should do?
I'm going to think about it. No, I'm going to sleep, and then I'm going to decide.
Oh God! But I think personally, I think that we should make a decision now.
Why?
I think I'm going to do it.
Okay.
But I want you to come with me.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Roll that. Can I quickly roll 3d20 first?
Oh yes, you need to do your golden path rolls. Sure.
Okay.
You can. Yeah. Shall I roll those, or do you want to roll it in the multiplayer thing?
I'll just put them in the multiplier and do it now.
Sure.
I've got a nat 1, I've got a 17, and a 12.
Well, that's good. So note those down. Well, nat 1 is good, remember, because you're replacing other people's rolls.
Great.
And a 12. Cool. Okay, sure. So sorry, you were saying, give me a persuasion check to you saying I want you to come with me to Locks.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh. 6 plus whatever.
Oh man.
What's your modifier for persuasion?
Well, it's not going to be. Oh, actually, I got a 11. 11.
11. Okay. Locks kind of avoids your gaze and goes, "I'll think about it."
Okay, well, I'm gonna say I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I'm turning around.
Yeah, sure. Did Zurab say anything to Ilehk when he went? What do you think they're talking about?
Ilehk, I will do it.
Capital. Brilliant. I mean, that's good news. Always lucky to have you around.
But
and Locks?
I have a condition.
Yes.
Will you? I would like some water.
Can do.
And I would also like. Do you have contacts in the rare animal domain?
Rare animal. He thinks. I'm just going to roll something for him from here. Yes, I would say I do. I'm well acquainted with another member of the Wizard Council who. Yes, I would say so. Yes.
Could you slide me his deets?
Sorry.
Could you give me his details?
His details, right? Okay. Well,
I would like to get in contact with him because I'm on the hunt. You see.
I don't know if I can put him in. I don't think. Okay. The hunt, you say? What are you hunting?
The metaphor. I'm not hunting the animals. You know, I love animals, but
I do know you love animals.
You know, this is my defining character.
It is absolutely the case
but,
that given time, I can put you in a conversation with someone who knows animals.
Thank you. If there's anyone who you think on the way I might be able to speak to about the rare animals, and at the time I will look after your wizard lizard.
My wizard lizard, right?
It's not a euphemism.
Is that a King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard reference or what? Okay. And looks at Locks, and she goes, I'll think about it. He goes, right, well, look, I don't want to leave you without, kind of a fun send-off. So if you stick around, you could see some interesting magic. Are we going to be staying here for a while? Look, some Locks.
I'm gonna stay. I'll see some fun magic. I haven't got anything else on to do today.
And you, Zurab? Well, you don't have anywhere else to stay, Zurab, so I suppose you're here. Speaking of which, Barney, you will need to find housing of your own for now. I can't have you staying in the tower. Well, you're technically not supposed to work for me.
Oh.
I'm sure you can find somewhere in the city, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I could try. Yes.
Great. Good. Sounds like you know what you're doing.
Oh boy.
And
It's brutal.
Sorry.
This guy's brutal. He just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I introduced him as a kind of a bemused indifference about the world, so So what happens is over the next hour, as you slowly get sick drinking tea, Nuch is along with another assistant brings in this collapsed series of wooden panels held together by these brass hinges, which are then unfolded to make a kind of C shape, the letter C, in the room facing towards the center of it. And you see that within these wooden panels are these kind of tall, thin oblongs of chrome, just this kind of dull color. But these are set up, and then Ilehk kind of sits kind of at the center of this sea, with the rest of you kind of watching and kind of waiting in the background, not sure what's going to happen, until eventually it's getting very close to sunset. A flicker, kind of pixelated flicker, runs up these chrome panels, which increases in detail and begins to have this light spool out and coalesce as an image of this courtyard that you would recognize as being somewhere within Behel. Unlike with the mirror, this is kind of looking at it on gives this weird sense of tangibility. It's almost as if you could walk into it and be in the courtyard. It is three-dimensional, whereas before you were looking at a largely flat image. And we come to where we left off in the previous session with this assistant you all saw rolling out this sheet of parchment with these chrome slabs on it and striking these two geometric cubes together that created this these spectres to appear on it, which are the people you see in the room. To re-describe the circumstances, you've gone through winding streets to this quiet little courtyard. There's no one there aside from you and the guards. You perhaps will have noticed, although your attention's in the opposite direction, that behind you is one of these buildings, the windows and doorway of which are covered by wooden boards. And those of you who are kind of more keen may notice that this doorway is barred on the outside, so prevents people from inside getting out. To describe the guards again, there's 4 of them here and the captain. The guards wear these bronze breastplates. They carry bronze-tipped spears, and they have these conical hats with this leather kind of sheet around them, and also a leather sheet that covers the mouth, so you can only really just see the nose and eyes peeking over it. The captain himself doesn't have this face covering sheet, and you see he's kind of got fairly tan skin. He has a kind of Amish beard, so no moustache, but kind of fairly heavy beard. Of a slightly kind of greyish colour. You think he's slightly old, perhaps getting to around kind of 28, you might guess. He's kind of standing between the bronze cage that contains Lola and Ailey, and to the side a bit, and I guess Corellia is kind of just poking about outside the cage as well, Shannon, unless she's doing anything else particular. I mean, she can leave if you want.
I'm just gonna stay.
Sure. So we ended with this apparition of Ilehk, and I will say to Ailey, you are struck by there is colour here. You do notice that the eyes and teeth of this person are stained blue, which may have relevance to a dream had previously.
Wait, his eyes are stained blue.
His eyes.
Do you
and
want
teeth...
to mention the contents of the dream?
Sure.
For
So you had.
watch.
Well, I want to keep it obscure, but sure, you had a vision after you came to Osiro of, among other things, a face with blue eyes and teeth. And you're kind of the inability to recognize the face in the dream has carried over into reality. It's kind of half remembered, but you definitely the blue eyes and the blue teeth here stand out to you as, if not being of the same person, of some kind of connection. There's some kind of connection here. So sorry, Shannon, did you say Corellia is doing something in particular?
No, I said his eyes are stained blue, question mark.
Yeah. So his kind of from the outside going in, there's a kind of a fading blue mottling to the eyes, and the teeth are kind of just a light bluish hue.
Cool.
It might be slightly unappealing, I suppose, to look at. Anyway.
And to clarify, Liam,
Yeah.
my goal, as sort of implied to me, is to find the wizards, gain their trust, and it may become clear from there.
Yeah, there was a red diamond-shaped kind of. You just kind of saw a 2D diamond-shaped piece of red, and were told to take it.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, kind of the instructions were fairly unclear. I think it'd be fair to say. So yeah, you're in this place, you're in this quiet courtyard, this spectre, which you can slightly see through. It does kind of blur what's behind it, but you can still see through it a bit, has appeared before you. This is a feat of magic that probably none of you have seen previously. And we ended with Ilehk, the previous episode with Ilehk saying, now I hear you're the witch I'm looking for. Tell me, what is it you desire most in the world? Looking directly at Lola. Does anyone say anything to this rather odd, somewhat astounding display?
No.
Is it shockingly magical?
Yes, this is a feat of magic that is beyond Corellia, definitely beyond Corellia. Beyond some stuff, definitely beyond what Ailey's experienced, and definitely beyond what Lola has experienced.
I just stand there in shock, kind of. Just I've no concept of what could even possibly be going on, so I'm just staying silent.
I see you're about to speak, but hold on one second. And he kind of looks over to the captain of the guard and goes, Fabat, who are these people? Indicating to Ailey and Corellia. Get rid of them. And the now named captain, Fabat, says, travellers from Osiro, Lord, one of them from Dwaynish. And Ilehk kind of pauses for a moment to kind of digest that information.
Are you a wizard?
Yes, I am. Just hold on. And indicates to
I've
Fabat.
travelled a long way. I must speak with a wizard.
Well, you are, so, congratulations. You did it.
I have a message to carry and things to show you.
Make it stop talking, please. Look, come here. And Fabat kind of looks back to you and then kind of walks closer to this apparition. And they kind of lean in to have a few quiet words. Now, anyone can give me a perception check if they want to try to strain their ear to listen in.
Can we?
I would like to.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Sam.
boy.
we can see this as well, right?
You can see this. Yeah, you're seeing the other side of this. So, Alien, Carillia, and Lola, and Fabat are
Did you
these
roll?
specters kind of coming out of the thing.
I'm gonna roll perception.
Tell you what. Nice. Should I roll for all of you?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I want to roll.
Amelia, you've already rolled, but I'll roll for the rest. If it'll load. I'll just roll here.
I think we all tried to roll at once.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Harry got 4, Shannon got 9, Sam got 7, and Grace got 10. Not great.
Was it
rolls.
perception?
Perception, yes. So what do
Oh
you?
wait, can I also roll?
You did roll, didn't you? Didn't you just roll now?
No, I didn't roll by myself.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'll roll for you now then.
That's okay.
I got 9.
That's all right.
I don't think that's
Unmodified.
enough.
You've got a 9 as
Plus
you rolled a
3.
9, plus 3, so 12. Did anyone get 15 or above?
No.
No. Harry, don't you have very good perception? It is modified. I'm only.
I got a 4.
You rolled a 4. Ah, okay, that'll do it. Okay. Well, if you're not going to do anything else, just where you're at, listening in, you begin to hear kind of slightly tense but whispered words between the two of them. Is anyone doing anything in that window of where they're kind of focused on each other?
Hello.
Do we hear this?
Yes, you do hear from beyond. You see this waving dromad, and it started just hello. Ilehk kind of pauses to look around at Barney and goes, "Barney, I am conducting business here."
Sorry, I was just saying hello to the people over the other side. I assume that that's who we'd be working with.
No.
Oh, okay. Do you guys know do you guys have anywhere to live?
Barney.
Oh, do you need skilled employees? You seem to be in need of retainers.
Who, me?
No,
Everyone,
behind you, the
please,
wizard.
I will bring this to an end early if I have to. Look, I'm trying to... First, I'm going to talk to Fabat here, who has flagrantly gone against my word, and then I'm going to talk to the witch. And then the other of you two, I'm not sure. But Barney, please. I'm trying to have a conversation, and I can't have you shouting across this divine apparatus.
I'm sorry. Can we make our way through the divine apparatus?
I mean, you can walk towards it and try to go through if you want.
Yes, because I see the lizard.
Nice.
I imagine, in one of those.
Okay, so you start to walk forward,
Roll a new character.
go with your hand out, and then Ilehk will kind of see you and just like swat you with his long arm, like stop, no, and just shows you like dunk dunk. No, he kind of puts a hand through Fabat to poke, and you can see these chrome slates are still beyond. It's just creating this kind of 3-dimensional effect.
I'm just going to stand back and look at the lizards then.
Can I ask a question about what my character knows?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So I have certain powers and abilities, such as Sacred Territory.
Yeah.
Do I think that kind of ability is sufficiently interesting to a wizard that I might be able to?
Yeah, you think so? It's pretty
attention?
miraculous. I believe it takes 10 minutes though. Sacred Territory.
It does. Does it? Is it the sort of thing where if I didn't want to gain an in-game mechanical bonus, I might begin it and demonstrate that I'm doing a magical thing?
I mean,
I'm gaining no powers that are written in the ability, but I'm beginning to do a magic.
Yeah, I mean, you can begin to do something that seems ritualistic and magical to an onlooker. It won't exhibit a magical effect until you complete the mantra that will generate the effect.
Sure.
But you can certainly act out being magic. Right. Sorry.
I think I will do that if I'm not being listened to. I'm going to begin activating my Sacred Territory.
Sure. Okay. So Lola, are you doing it just quietly, or are you doing it very, conspicuously?
I sing softly to the staff, and I think it responds in kind in a sort of chiming and whirring.
So say,
it
Amelia,
matches in pitch and
sure.
like pattern, but not in sound.
Amelia, you might notice although perhaps with the quietness no one else does, a kind of a faint chime as the brass rings on the staff of Ailey, your incarcerated companion, start to slightly rub and clatter together. Not loud enough for anyone else to really notice yet, but and Ailey starts to do this kind of slightly droning, halfway between a kind of a song and a chant. Cool. So Ilehk and Fabat are trying to go back to having a kind of private conversation between the two, but Sam's left. So,
are you hearing that?
I'm hearing a weird feedback thing. I think it might be. I suspect it might be Sam.
It's 8 o'clock and everyone's doing the NHS noise. Those fireworks were in my area. I'm going to mute now.
Yeah, I've got nothing going on myself. We'll wait for Sam to get back, and then
They're real loud.
we'll continue.
Yeah, they really are.
I'm not getting anything on my end. We didn't schedule this very well, did we? Oh, well.
I'm gonna go grab a drink.
No.
All right. Okay.
I think people who live near me have got bored of clapping.
Yeah,
No,
same.
The people
Everyone
near me are
is...
just getting loud. I can bring you to the window if you want to hear.
We're good, Shannon.
Bloody
We're good.
hell. I heard that they're going to shout like, give them PPE instead of clap this time.
That's better.
Doesn't sound like they're doing that. Banging the saucepan though, with real vigor.
Yeah. I thought the noise was a sound effect that you were adding, Liam,
No.
to be the noise that the staff was making.
No.
And I was like, oh.
Tragically, I can't add sound effects.
Fancy. Ooh.
Yet, at least.
Oh, that's where Sam went. Oh, I always forget. Right.
I don't think he went to do that. I think he's got to help his grandma with something.
Yeah, it's help his grandma clap.
Really?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, that was what it was last time.
Oh, I thought it was happening
Yeah.
with groceries or something.
Both times at 8 o'clock on the dot for 1 minute. Very interesting.
I was going to say, well, everyone's gone, maybe I should practice my accent, but then I realised we're still live.
We're
It's
still
not gonna
live.
be
I know
any
this
less
is awful. I
embarrassing
could
for
cut
me,
to
so
break
no.
it, but I haven't
You
got my
couldn't
setup
do
yet.
that to our millions of viewers, Shannon.
We have at least 3, Amelia.
Oh god.
We have 14.
Hey, that's
which
pretty
is
good.
Nice.
Nice.
Woo!
Well, thanks for
Well,
watching.
now I feel
Well, look-
embarrassed.
Hey, everybody.
Let's do a very,
Please
very
go
quick
away.
AMA. If anyone's got any questions for the game so far, I can just say all the spoilers or something.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's reveal spoilers.
Let's reveal all the spoilers.
And then we can all metagame.
I was
and Sam and
actually
Grace
a
won't have a
dog.
clue what's going on.
All right, Sam's
What
back
did you say?
I was a
Nothing,
dog
nothing.
the whole time.
now.
Oh wow! Sorry about that.
Dog and a person. So okay.
I
we've
would
now
love
lost...
a game where the twist is that we're all dogs.
When we've now lost Grace.
After like hours and hours of intrigue and like political infighting and stuff.
That'd be rough.
Okay. Shall I just keep going, even though we're down?
Fuck you, Shannon.
Grace. Actually, yeah, because Ailey is doing this now, this ritualistic chant, so she's preoccupied with that. So Sam, Barney has approached this thing and then been held back by Ilehk.
Yeah.
You now standing like just behind him as he tries to have a private conversation.
I'm sorry. I said I kind of like make my way over to look at the lizards.
Sure. Again, you can't enter this thing. It is just a holographic.
No, I
apparition.
know. I'm just having a look at them.
Okay, but you have come closer to this thing, or
Yes.
okay. If you want, I'll let you make a second. I mean, it depends how distracted you want to roleplay Barney as, but I'll let you make a second perception check with advantage if you want to try to listen in this time.
Yeah, we'll give it another go.
Sure. Should I roll for you again?
Roll. I think. Oh no, it's worked this time.
So with advantage, you get 2 rolls, by the way. So that's 11 or so you 2 have been
11
higher.
or.
Hold on, I just rolled for you, I think. Or well, hold
Oh,
on.
I got 15. So
15.
20.
20.
No,
Okay.
no, wait, no, hold on. Wait, perception 17.
17. Aren't you proficient in perception? I thought you were. Okay. Well, look. So they lean in. Ilehk, fairly kind of flustered by you coming up to the thing and trying to walk through it, and things not really going his way. Says, "Look, Fabat, I didn't order you to bring any others." And then Fabat is like, "Well, look, you had me performing my duties as a plague catcher. You asked me to catch someone under pretense. You can't expect me to then not catch people who are coming from Osiro. We had a woman, an Oseth, coming from there. Well, should I have let her in too? I don't. I mean, come on. Besides, I mean, what you've predicted has happened, hasn't it? I don't work for you anymore, do I? And then he kind of looks down and goes, "Thank the gods." To which Ilehk will go, kind of glares at him like, "What?" He goes, "You'll miss me when I'm gone." And Faber goes, I really won't." Kind of looking off to the distance and remembering kind of all of the stupid shit that Ilehk had him do. Ilehk
Like
kind
every
of,
one of my breakups.
and he goes, regardless, look, I had to have time for some, and all of you do see him gesture towards Corellia, some wayward jungle dweller, and then to Ailey. And in these circumstances, my obligations to the Dwyer Inish are completely moot. And Fabat will go, I don't think that's how obligation works. And look, this one, and just look around to indicate to Corellia again, she's not from around here, and she stayed for days in Osiro. I mean, did the fight make you give up your curiosity too? Days. You said you wanted to meet curious people. And I'm going to roll for Fabat here. Okay. Ilehk kind of pauses to digest these words, and then kind of looks round Fabat to directly at you, Corellia, and says, what were you doing in Osiro?
Well, I was
Nice.
This is how it's gonna go now, guys.
Good for you.
Well, I was just doing my best to help out, really.
Help in Osiro?
Well, yeah, they've got this pretty bad plague, you see, and
Yeah, I've heard.
and maybe you should do something about it.
Right. Do some... Sorry, I'm confused. What is it you do?
I mean, several things. I'm quite good on the flute.
And you
It's
play
mainly it's healing mainly.
healing. You're a healer
Yes.
from the jungle.
Yes.
You can notice there is definitely a registration of interest behind his eyes. And why have you come to Behel? For me? For a wizard?
Well, we were looking for a cure for the plague.
A cure? And you expect me to have a cure for the plague?
Wait, I'm trying to remember what he said. That he thought it was caused by a curse or something, right?
So
by
the
someone.
Osef people believe that the reason they get the Shale Plague is because they're cursed. They're people who've fallen from grace. They kind of some of them at least seem to believe that from the way they talk that this curse could potentially be confronted by a wizard, someone who is used to, or they believe has knowledge of curses and those kind of things.
Okay, maybe it's
curse on a human scale, not on like a divine scale.
What do you mean?
So sometimes if a god might curse an entire people, it seems like something beyond the reach of an individual to combat. But they believe it's something that a single wizard could help with or have any power over.
I think it's what they hope a wizard could help. They don't know.
Sure.
But yeah, that's your understanding of what they want. Anyway, sorry, what's Corellia saying, if anything?
When they told me about them thinking it was a curse, did that sound like something I believed, or did it sound more like folklore-y?
That's entirely up to you.
Oh, golly, okay. I'm from the jungle, I believe in magic. Okay.
I mean, you're looking at magic right now, so, hard not to believe.
Yeah, I know, but there's in all magic universes, there's magic and there's magic,
Sure.
Okay, I don't want to do the accent anymore, but I've started it now.
Nah, stick at it. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Join the club.
I'm not going to be doing a voice, so don't feel you have to.
So Ilehk
Oh no, I'm
said,
just peer pressuring you to start one.
Ilehk has asked you
terrible.
why
I feel
have you
it
come
already.
to Behel, and what is it Corellia is saying, if anything, aside from she's a healer.
Well, the plague is caused by a curse, and as you're a wizard, I thought maybe you know a bit about curing curses. I hate it so much.
Why are you laughing?
It's good.
It's funny.
It's perfect.
Okay. I'll confess I don't know much of the curse currently, but there's no reason I couldn't be inclined to help. I'll give this some thought, and turns to Ailey. And you, monk, what are you doing? What is it? Why have you come here?
Can I not answer him? But can I be more obvious and noisy in my activation of my powers?
Sure, you can be. You can kind of say the chant louder. Fabat, go. What? And he kind of regards you. I'm going to give him a perception check because his eyesight isn't that keen.
I'd like to raise the staff a bit so that the movements and sounds of its rings are more evident.
Should we make an Arcana check for Ilehk as well? Okay, just roll 2 natural 20s. Ilehk is going to look at you for a moment with first confusion and then kind of very quickly goes from recognition to concern. And goes, Fabat, make sure, stop what she's doing now. And Fabat kind of looks around and recognizes the worry of Ilehk and turns to you and does clang on the bars. What are you doing? Stop.
Am I?
You're allowed to stop.
I'm not anywhere near using my powers, am I?
I would say you're about 3 minutes in.
In that case, since I've no chance of using this to influence them at all, I will stop and I will say, have I offended you?
Offended, mate?
Have I made you afraid? I didn't mean to.
No, you haven't.
Make you
Maybe I
uncomfortable.
merely concerned.
Ah. You have my apologies, of course.
What is your name? Where did you get that tea?
My name is Ailey of Dwer Enish.
Of Dwer Enish. You're sick. That's why you're in this cage here. Or you may be sick.
I am not sick. Though your guards are vigilant.
You may be sick. We will have you wait in this house here, but you interest me. I will visit soon.
I am satisfied.
I'm Barney.
Barney, we're having... Just go have some tea,
I'm
Barney,
so
please.
pleased for you, Barney.
Sorry?
I'm so pleased for you, Barney.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you. I hope that we work together.
We're not...
I'm sure
Barney, you're
it will be
really
a
jumping the
pleasure.
gun here. On my... I completely separate matters, to be honest.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that we were mixing. Okay, I'll go and enjoy the tea, so I go and sit back
Yes.
down.
Just... Yeah. Great. Okay.
You have such kind retainers.
Thank you.
I feel that
That just
perhaps...
comes out of my mouth as I sit down. I just say that to myself, not to you, but like it's to you, but quite enough so that you don't hear.
I feel perhaps we've gotten a little off track.
Funny.
What I'm here for is a witch. And looks back to Lola. You are one, aren't you?
Lola looks at him as if to say, "Dadoy," but she doesn't actually say "Dadoy." Just because she assumes that he knows.
I hear word that the idiot son of Zeta has been hunting a witch. If that's true, I can protect you from such brutes, and I can pay you generously too. I need my future red.
Lola nods her head slightly, but still looks rather unpleasantly.
And you know the art? You know how to read my future?
Well, I could know it, I could not know it. Why don't you take my manacles off and find out?
Kind of regards the other people around here. Perhaps in more private circumstances. And looks to the building behind you. unfortunately, you will need to stay within this sick house. It's the best accommodation I could provide, given unfortunate circumstances. Both of you, looking to Ailey and Lola, will need to stay here. This is protocol we're following now to prevent spread of the sickness. If in a few days you don't have any symptoms, you'll be let go. You'll be free to go where you want.
Have you quarters more appropriate than a cage? I had heard this city was a place of civilization.
A vacant sick house is what I can offer. And I do not know for how long it will be vacant. Matters beyond my control have unfortunately twisted my hand in many ways. There's been a lot to dwell on here. Make yourself comfortable. I will speak with you soon. And he's saying this to Lola and Ailey, and then turns to Corellia. And you, I think perhaps it would be best if you got in touch with my enthusiastic companion here, turning back to indicate Barney.
Is that the little camel boy?
Who will be leaving my service summarily. You know where the entrance to the tower is?
No.
He kind of goes to say friend and then stops. My
Me.
former employee. Sorry, what's the name of the god again? I've completely forgotten. Fabat. My former employee here, Fabat, can show you the way. Fabat is some last act of loyalty, maybe. Fabat's like, yeah, okay.
But really, it's because he has a crush on me. He was one of the 3 from the last game, right?
Yes, he's one of the 3 people you got a romance flag with, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 2 things.
Mhm.
One, my neighbours who love to play really loud music have
you?
begun.
Cannot hear it.
Headphones, or I can't hear it.
If you can't hear it, great. And if you can, please tell me. And I don't know
can't
what to do
hear
about
it.
it.
You can?
Can you,
Chat, can you hear it?
I can't hear it at all.
We'll find out in like
it's only
30,
when
40 seconds.
Grace is speaking, right?
Oh, is it like
Yeah.
the noise suppression doesn't hear it till I'm speaking?
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
hear anything. People in the
Nice.
chat, someone in the chat can't hear it. It's Alexis. Yeah, I don't think people can hear it, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
The other thing is, I'd like to say to Lola, it seems we are allies of circumstance.
It would seem that way, yes.
So as you're having this conversation, this assistant, who I think...
Why is Lola so horrible? I have to know.
It's not like...
Why is she such a dick?
I assure you,
She's so
I am the
awful.
one.
She's been through some shit, man.
The joy.
Okay,
She
so
can't trust anyone.
while
I
you're...
think Ailey pauses and says afterwards, I assure you, I am the one less pleased.
Oh.
Oof.
I forgot to mention earlier
Victory
that
sip.
while you were kind of just sitting there sipping tea, waiting for something to happen, Nuch, you did see leave with this roll of parchment under their arm after they set up these wooden panels. And it is Nuch out here who has unrolled this sheet of parchment and comes over, and as they begin to roll it up, and these chrome slates are covered up, this ghostly apparition kind of flickers and begins to kind of almost melt, disintegrate, and is quickly gone as Nuch is kind of halfway through rolling this thing up. When they're completed, they tuck it under their arm and they just kind of neatly bow to all of you and kind of walk off towards the tower.
I have a question because I'm not smart.
Yo.
So the place where Ailey and Lola are staying is like a quarantine house, but it's
Yes.
currently empty.
Currently empty, yes.
Okay.
Could I stay there?
Barney, you, on your... It's gone, though. You can't see them anymore. What's Barney's intelligence score, can I ask?
0.
His intelligence. Where's intelligence? 13.
I think he's one of the smartest members of the party, but whatever.
Hey,
Well, he's book smart.
that's
right?
the thing.
Sure,
he's
sure,
book
sure.
smart. He's
Fair
book
enough.
smart.
Fair
He's
enough.
book smart, but he's not bright.
Okay.
He makes up for it in
Charm.
in other things.
So the 4 guards who were posted to the passageways into this quiet courtyard, and no one appears to have come this way. Maybe one or two of you noticed kind of someone kind of walking past the entrances to these passages, but no one's tried to approach this place. Do kind of on a whistle from Fabat do kind of leave their posts and come over. The manacles on Lola's wrists are undone. And the back gate to this cage is opened, and one of these guards removes the bar from the door here and grinds it open against sandstone. Fabat says, now, apologies, I don't... it's not the best circumstances, but I will need you to be staying in here for at least the next 2 days, indicating to this doorway. Food and water is provided. You'll be taken care of. This is just a precaution to make sure that the sickness is not spread in the city. Do you leave? Do you get out? Or is there a standoff?
I'm cooperating with the quarantine house process.
Sure.
I think Ailey is concerned about the virus.
Sure.
The
Fair enough.
plague.
Yeah, I mean,
Her current plan is to like, if anyone tries to, if there are other people who are sick in there with her, she's going to try to escape.
So Ilehk did
But
mention
otherwise
that it was
she's
vacant
going to-
currently.
Say again?
Ilehk mentioned that it was vacant, but
yeah.
but
She doesn't know how long she's there for, and she doesn't know when people will arrive. So she's like, as long as it's a place where I wait for my appointment, fine. If other people arrive, I'm leaving.
sure.
Because that's her sort of, she's all about just specific goals,
Sure
and achieving them is very, very important.
So just to ratchet up the the tension, I have made Constitution saving throws for people here to see if they've caught it or spread it.
I love that. And we don't even know yet.
No, you
got it.
don't.
Oh shit.
So when are we going to find out?
Who knows? Maybe this
Why
very
am I
episode.
not playing a tank?
I can't live in a world with a plague and a game with a plague.
What happened to escapism?
No, this is going to be like the the trial that Natalie Portman goes through in V for Vendetta, and you'll overcome your fear of the plague in real life through a simulation of it.
And then we'll become terrorists.
Yes,
like she does at the
that
end
is
of
the
the
ultimate
film.
ambition of
Good.
this channel.
And
isn't
we'll
it?
wear cool masks. I've never seen the movie.
Which one of us has
Honestly,
to dress up?
It's not worth it.
Okay. Sick.
Anyway, assumedly you exit the cart with the cage and enter.
How long have I been drinking tea for now?
I know, me too.
I mean, you.
I just been knocking it back and slowly filling up our bladders.
I have said that you felt sick from the amount of tea you've drunk, so quite a while.
It's a perfect opportunity in a world sparse of water.
Yeah. So I will say you've been in Ilehk's chambers for about 3 hours.
I love the escapism of D&D. Like, where else could I sit and drink tea inside for hours on end?
Literally all I've done over the last month and a half.
Alien
and you're an indentured servitude to a sort of bemused but on some level deeply uncaring and brutal employer.
What?
I love to escape.
Where have I heard that one?
I like to just switch off,
I love to enjoy a power fantasy.
Got to earn the power fantasy now. Anyway, so I'm going to say that Ailey and Lola do exit this cart and walk peacefully into this quarantine house. The wooden door grinds against the sandstone as it's closed behind you, and you hear the thunk of a wooden board placed across the entrance. Once that door has been shut and barred from the outside, light is barely getting into this place. Kind of only squeezes through gaps of warp boards and creates these, gossamer walls of illuminated dust as the sun is setting. Drapes partition this chamber into a series of straw beds, and each one has a small clay carafe, which you learn contains water, and a chamber pot beside it. Very Spartan conditions as you enter this place. I think, yeah. What did Ailey and Lola say anything as they come into this place? There's enough light that you can navigate it, but it's not very well lit.
I don't think Ailey's concerned by that. She has dark sight. How big did you say the space was?
It's not that large. It divides into 12 beds, basically. 6 on either side.
Did you say there was boards on the windows?
Yeah, so the windows and doorway have been essentially blocked, so you can't just get out of this place, because otherwise these windows would just be squares in the wall.
Okay.
Ailey's going to stalk down the space and seek out probably a corner, a corner bed, and just sit upon it.
Sure.
Legs crossed, staff cradled in her arms.
Lola sees her go off.
I come and sit next to her and I say, I'm sensing some tension. I feel as though we have been forced into very strange circumstances, and I wish to not be, as normal people would say, off-putting. So it would be nice to... she's clearly having a very hard time with this. She doesn't connect with people.
Ailey doesn't give her anything. She just looks at her.
Lola walks away immediately.
Oh,
and
no,
goes and cries softly in the opposite corner of the room.
I mean, like, I didn't mean like she stares in silence after she stops talking. I meant like she doesn't make any effort to sort of suggest the end of it. But if she kind of tails off, she says, you settle for the allies you can get.
Ooh.
What do we have that we both want?
Well, what I want is not easily achieved.
Lola, I'm trying quite hard to help you help me. So, what do we have that we both want? Let's figure out if we can be friends.
Okay.
I need to speak to that wizard, and when I've done that, it may become clear what I need to do next. But I need to speak to him.
Okay. So you're saying I should not try to, as normal people would say, piss him off?
Well, you can piss him off, as long as you're not standing next to me when you do it. Okay?
Wait, I'm confused. Do you want to be allies or not? Because if we are to be friends and allies, then surely I should be standing next to you. This is what allies do.
What I want, and if we're allies, you may also get what you want. So what do you want?
She takes a deep breath and stands. I was once a part of a coven of witches. I was not always on my own. My witch mother, Sistasi, one day, without explanation, she killed all of my sisters and fled. I wish to find her and do the same.
Okay. What do you want here?
I don't want anything here. I was forcibly captured. You were there.
You want to leave?
Yes.
How can we both get what we want out of this? You want to leave this building?
Yes.
If we can be nice to the wizard, we may negotiate that we both leave. Okay.
Yes.
How do you know the wizard?
How do I know the wizard?
Is
Do I
he
know
the
the wizard?
bastard?
You don't,
Is
particularly.
this the bastard wizard, Lola?
No.
Is he an enemy of your enemy?
I do not know him at all, actually.
You may recall that he mentioned, Ailey would have heard Ilehk mention the name Zeta. Definitely in reference to some person who, or reference Zeta's idiot son, kind of pursuing Lola. Actually, give me an intelligence check.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to. A roaring check?
Yeah, just
or
raw
some
int.
sort of other
Just raw, uncooked int.
unrefined.
That sweet, sweet intelligence.
There is a 13.
13. I think you could probably like do the maths in your head of the similarly dressed guards who came after the cart with you and Lola in it, and the mention of Zeta. You can probably put together there's someone else of political significance within Behel, within similar circumstances to Ilehk, who is after Lola. For some reason you don't know, but you can probably put together that they have command of similarly armed people. Apparently you're a wizard. Ilehk made reference to the name Zeta and that person's idiot son.
Mm-hmm. And Lola mentioned Zeta to me last session.
Oh, sure.
So Ailey will say, if you want to leave this city alive, and Zeta wants you here or dead, we need someone like this wizard who doesn't want him to have that. Right?
I have nothing against this wizard except for that he forcibly captured me instead of just coming to ask me to read his future, which I easily could have done without violence or manacles, but
I completely
you
agree.
know.
I completely agree. He's a shit, and we may have to kill him. That's fine.
Well,
Right.
I don't really want to inflict negative repercussion where I don't have to, so I feel as
Lola,
though
do you want what you want or not? You have to reach out and take it, and know when to throttle it out.
Jesus Christ.
Okay? We're going to smile, and we're going to be useful and interesting and charming.
Can I be useful and interesting and charming without smiling? I don't like it.
Well, if you don't want to smile, at least be charming. Or useful.
Useful I can do.
Okay. He wants a fortune? Tell him the fortune he wants to hear.
Well, I will do what he asks. I suppose that would be the best course of action.
It may be that I suddenly have to leave, and anything I have promised or said or agreed to in the wind. I'm just telling you that now. Be ready
Okay.
for it.
Okay. Well, that's fine, but where does that leave us? If you just disappear.
I'll try to let you know. Try to have you be ready. More likely,
Okay.
I'll do something and the wizard will be tremendously angry.
What? What?
I'll try and warn you. Okay?
Okay, that sounds fine. Whatever you want. You seem like you know where you're headed, and you have a very clear course of action. So I'm just gonna do my best to not make you angry. How does that sound?
I have to warn you. I really have no idea what's going to happen.
Okay.
Good talk. Thanks.
We're all
Amy, you're
fucked,
fucking
aren't we?
terrifying.
Yeah, it might have been
Like
a bad
Ailey.
decision
She's
having
great
you two
fun.
be in the same place. Okay, so while this slightly terrifying conversation is going on,
Hugely terrifying.
Fabat is, unless Carilius tried to run off or declined, is
No.
trying to lead you towards the main entrance to the tower.
Okay.
Do you say anything to each other?
No, I think the vibrations of fear emanating off Lola have hit me. I'm just... Sorry, I'm just rattled from that conversation. I was scared.
Now remember,
Is
your
it a good
character hasn't
vibe
heard the
overall?
conversation.
Am I bringing something constructive to the show?
Yeah,
It's very
10
good,
out of
yeah.
10.
100%.
10 out of 10, definitely terrified. So
I do my
worked out.
best.
Would be scared again.
Okay, so you and is Carilia traveling in silence with Fabat?
She's not a traveling in silence girl, is she? But Shannon really don't want to do the voice, so that's
Well,
a
you don't have to.
conflict.
If you're not here, you don't have to.
I'm going to skirt around it by telling you what she's going to say instead of actually saying it. I'm just going to ask the guard what he thinks the wizard wants with her. And there's another siren. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I mean, I'm not quite at liberty to say, but Ilehk, Ilehk is his name, does have an interest in healers. And it's the kind of interest that you can see yourself well taken care of and well compensated. I wouldn't be concerned about it. Generally, matters of health, he's not a bastard. God, it feels good to be able to talk freely about him now. Yeah, I mean, if he does make an offer for you, he'll definitely make it worth your while. I hope, at least.
I've already forgotten the voice. I'm so sorry.
You're doing kind of soft Welsh. But you don't have
Please
to.
don't say.
Shannon, you don't have to. You're free to do your own voice if you want to. If it's stressing you out.
Maybe she'll come back to it later. Okay,
Sure,
we'll see.
sure.
You don't seem like you're the biggest fan of him.
Well, the privilege of having worked for him, I think, haven't yet had to run the gauntlet of working for others. Certainly, it'll be fun to see how it pans out working for everyone who runs the city all at once. I mean, I imagine you haven't heard, but they're bringing the armies, all the fighting men of Behel together under one army, which Ilehk annoyingly predicted would happen.
Any particular reason they're doing that?
Well, Ilehk thought that it would be centralizing the military forces so people like him couldn't meddle and pull things in a direction that most people, most of the wizards and merchant lords didn't want things, didn't pull things in a direction that they didn't want it to go. So no doubt he's cooking up some harebrained scheme to still try to have his way, but I get to be no longer part of it, so...
Do you think he's going to help me out with my whole plague shenanigans?
Curiosity is the way to get him to do what you want. Get him interested. Don't bargain. You can't buy him. You can't appeal to his better nature. Interest, curiosity. That's the way.
What's this guy's name again?
Fabat.
What are you interested in for that?
Me? Oh, this kind of seems taken aback by it. Oh, I'm just a humble guard. Worked here for a number of years and was foolishly compliant with, the more outlandish requests of Ilehk where others might not have been, and saw myself promoted.
Nifty. And then we have an amiable conversation, and wow, look, we're here at the door.
Okay. He seems kind of taken aback by you asking about his personal life, if anything.
10 more points on the romance ladder, baby.
yeah.
I mean, you learn that he loves his wife and kids. But aside from that, he's a man in his late 20s. I mean, he's he's
I'm a
old.
woman in my mid-20s. What are you saying?
Sure, fair enough. Anyway, you eventually come to this large gateway. You do see that carved into sandstone are these strange beings, a woman's head on a lion's body, the head of a rat upon the body of an eagle. Creatures of significance you don't understand, although perhaps you would recognize the kind of illuminated, at least in terms of lines of carved sandstone coming out of it, hermaphrodite centrally above the door. You may recognize this as the deity Nusku. And that was just, say, as you know, by the time you arrive, I'll say that on advice from Ilehk, Barnelect, Lox, and Zurab are kind of standing outside. Perhaps have been for about 15 minutes after gathering your things. And you see Karelia and Fabat come up. You, of course, Barney and Lox know Fabat. Barney, Lox, how are you doing?
Okay. Yeah, how are you doing?
Interesting day.
Yeah, we lost our jobs.
I'm sorry to hear that. Hold on. But you've been... What, did everyone lose their jobs, or...?
Everybody's been laid off.
So you may recall... You'll recall that they are... They're being laid off, but then drafted into the army. But you are
they're
not...
going to be reintroduced, aren't they?
Yeah, but you're not as someone who's worked for him under 6 months.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Sure.
So but you know, right?
No, I've been out working. I've been watching the border.
Oh.
I mean, I was under the understanding that we would be brought together under the same banner of the council, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you've worked with him for over 6 months, right?
6 years now.
Well, you're fine.
But you and Lox aren't.
No. But we're doing this thing for him. We'll see what happens. But I'm just gonna keep my lips stum.
He seems fairly puzzled by this, by you saying that you and Lox aren't seeing work. Right. Okay.
Why do you seem puzzled?
I just surprised that they decided that there was a minimum amount of time that one would need to have served.
Oh. Well, now that's making me feel puzzled. I look at Lox.
Lox goes, not concerned.
Okay.
Well, this has been a lovely conversation, but I'm going to go now. Bye.
Where are you going to go? Says Lox.
Well, I don't know where I'm going to sleep. Like, Zurab's been owned by people up until now, right? He wasn't offered anywhere from, what's it called? Anywhere to stay by weird wizard Mr. Magoo. So I think I'm going to go sleep on the street. Unless there's a cozy sick plague house open up that I can stay in.
Lox puts a heavy hand on Barney's shoulder and says, Barney has plenty of friends. I'm sure he can find somewhere for us to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Was that aimed at me, or was that not
aimed at Zurab? Aimed at Zurab. And saying you don't have to sleep on the street, essentially.
Well, I of course I have many alternative options. The garbage heap, the corner of the street. But that does sound very appealing. Yeah, I will come along with you.
Well, thanks a lot, Lox.
That goes, right, well, look, here's
I thought I was getting along well with strange giraffe man. And I put a hand on his shoulder.
Oof. Should have let that one slide. Do I know what a giraffe is?
You're a natural diplomat.
I think the mutant giraffes of this world of similar, but the legs are like miles and miles long or something.
Nice.
Or no, short neck and very very long legs perhaps.
Oh yeah.
Short
It's like
neck,
me,
short
huh?
legs.
Anyway, Fabat goes, okay, well I suppose this is where we part ways now, Barney and Lox.
For that,
Hmm.
a quick question. You don't have a spare 3 beds, do you?
Well, give me a persuasion check.
Oh, here we go. Hey yo.
You're free to use your
Hey,
luck stuff here, by the way, because this is a skill check.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, we'll see what I get.
14.
Persuasion. I've got a 19 there.
Sure. Okay. Do you want to add anything else to that, or
Oh yeah, I could add.
you can add a D4 to it if you want, which I can roll quickly for you.
Yeah, please. So let's get as much.
So you got an extra 3, so that's 22. You got.
Yeah.
Fabat kind of regards it for a second and goes, I don't. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. No, of course, Barney. Yeah, absolutely. And Lox and sorry, I didn't catch your name. Turning to Zurab.
Jurab. Just said it.
Sorry. Sorry. And Kirilia, you're very welcome to stay as well if you wish. I mean, we have a room. It would be a bit cramped. But we have enough room.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, but my pals.
Your pals at the sick house.
Mm.
Leave the disgusting plague victims where they are.
Look, it's not.
Whoa.
It's not too late if you want to.
You can't hear this, Grace. You don't get to hold a grudge.
Do you want to? What do you want to head back and talk to
Ellie
them?
doesn't hold grudges. She understands.
Okay.
We do what we have to.
In response to what Shurab says, I look at him real concerned, and I put like a hand on his forehead like that, and I'm like, well, you do look a bit peaky, don't you?
I don't know what nurse you are talking about. I feel completely fine.
Well, listen, Kirilia,
Oh.
I know the guards who are going to be making sure that no one's checking what's coming in and out of the sick house fairly well. You can come with me tomorrow, and we can stop and by if you wish.
Well, that'd be lovely. It's not Wales anymore, is it? It's not Wales anymore.
It
We're
was
not in Wales anymore.
That's
no,
good
sir.
enough. Good enough. Good enough.
ish.
Anyway, come, please. Shall we away? I mean, the night approaches. And,
Yes.
assumedly, you go. You're led through. It's only a few minutes away. Simulate yourself walking. You go through a few city streets to come to one of these blocky buildings. You can see kind of smoke and perhaps faintly catch the sound of something cooking on the roof. And you enter. The buildings here are generally kind of just have a an accessible roof, a ground floor, and then there's another floor kind of dug into the stone here. So it stays fairly cool. Coming in, Fabat is immediately jumped on by his 2 kids, who he
Aw.
wrestles with.
Cute.
These terrifying snapjaws have me. Perhaps my new friends can aid me in this battle. And turns to the 4 of you.
Syrup takes out the
Pull out
gun.
My gun.
No, I obviously don't.
Okay.
But I don't get involved in that.
No, I
fucking
definitely join in the mock
tomfoolery.
fight.
Sure.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
Battle music starts playing.
yeah. If only-
Roll initiative.
I'll get the music working for next week, and you can have a fight against his 2 kids. Fairly summarily, things are judged to be unfair, as it's 3 adults versus 2 children. So immediately, a complex interplay of shifting allegiances and sudden betrayals begins to play out as you go through every epic battle in history. While Fabat's wife and sister cook food on the roof. Eventually, you come to have a meal, simplistic but hearty, and it's flavored with the best spice of all, which is companionship.
For some reason, I can't taste it.
Yeah, no, throughout the entire thing, Zurab is just like, it's completely flavorless. Right. Do you have any conversations as you eat?
No, we eat in silence.
Oh, you know, I mean, are there any specific things you as a group talk about?
Larks, have you decided whether or not you're going to join us?
I've been thinking about it. I'm not sure I want to keep working for people who are just going to keep moving me around for some meaningless defense. I do not care. This is not where I'm meant to be, I think. I wonder.
You want... Oh no.
Sorry?
So,
I wonder is what I said.
Very still there.
I thought you froze
I've
there.
been kicked.
No, sorry. She says that but basically she's saying, I don't know if I want this. I don't know if I want to work for these people.
Oh, man, that's not what I wanted you to say. Look, Lux. I'm a big fan of you, and I would love to have you on this journey with me. But you need to do what you need to do, and when this is all over, if you decide not to come along with me, I'll come back to you. Yeah.
She kind of laughs to herself and puts a kind of gigantic meaty arm over your shoulder and pulls you in close. Yeah, your neck is like slightly kind of crushed by this weight of this thing upon you. You are a good friend, Barney.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me a persuasion check?
I do.
And you should still have your... Actually, no, your D4 luck will have ended now. It's been more than a minute.
Yeah. Well, I don't need it. Because... with persuasion. 23.
Okay. I'm going to say now that Locks rolled a 5 on a understand my feelings roll.
Okay.
Given this is very relevant to Barney, I will let you use a golden path roll if you want.
Yeah. Give her a nat 1. No, I'm gonna...
I'm smashing plates. I don't understand anything.
I don't see much. I don't see much combat happening in the next battle.
Oh,
and also it's probably the only time I can use it. But so I'm going to give her the 17.
Sure.
Are you sure Liam's not just softening us up?
Yeah, the children actually are the deadliest enemy, and they pull out knives. Okay, so you give her the 17, and she kind of seems conflicted and mulls it over, and then, okay, I will come with you for this, for now, and then we'll see where I'll go after that.
Yeah.
Just jump into the air like a freeze frame.
Yeah, but both of you high five, and then it freezes on that. Any other conversations happening around the table or not?
Say again.
Any other conversations happening during this meal?
I would have spoken to Harry, but he's vaping.
Yeah. Zurab goes outside to vape briefly, but
I can be Zurab if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, be Zurab for the scene.
Oh, I can't do the accent, but yeah.
No, you got to do it.
No, Zizek
That's a lovely poncho you've got.
I'm just going to do a Sean Connery. Thanks.
Is that all you're giving me?
Yeah, that's all I'm giving you.
I'll go back to my food. This is good.
All right, I'll be Zurab for the scene.
Wow.
I'll be Zurab. What is it you're saying to Zurab? What is it you're saying to Zurab? Oh, no, Harry's back. There we go.
Right. Back from heaven. That beautiful glow.
Yeah. You're muted, Harry.
You're muted, Harry.
Fuck.
There we go, you're back. So, sorry, Karidia is turning to Zurab in this meal. Or not.
That's a lovely poncho you've got on.
Oh, you noticed my poncho. That's very nice. That's not Zurab saying that.
Ooh.
All it took was one compliment.
Yes, that's a very nice
I'm wearing a
Uh,
tunic made out of vines.
iron thing you
Vines.
have that you're wearing. This is just it's a piece of cloth.
Yeah, but it's in a snazzy little shape. So.
Yes, when I get bored, I what has happened to this accent? When I get bored, I I sometimes don it.
What?
Darn it! I darn it. You know.
Yeah, I know a Dan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shannon's relationship points have gone up again.
Yeah, Shannon, you gain. I'll give that one relationship point with Zurab.
Another seduction.
I had to sub you in for the head soldier, so.
Right. Okay. Any other conversations happening, or do you find sleep as Zurab kind of rolls out a few cloths?
If you're angling for important conversations, I don't think we're going to have.
I'm just checking. There's nothing else you want to talk about before you go to sleep for the day.
How about that plague, huh? Whew.
I know, nasty stuff.
Ooh. What preventions are people doing to keep safe?
I figured you'd know. I mean,
Well, no, I was just asking if you had any things that you were doing particularly. You were like, oh, I'm gonna do this, but you know, like along with the what has been prescribed to us.
I mean, I drive back Oseth, who tried to come to the city for help, and put people who have come from the south in cages.
Seems like a chill guy.
I hate my job. But maybe that'll change. Right, that is the
This
last.
is delicious.
You just turned to his wife and go, "This food is really good."
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Well, what a lovely spread.
Thank you. Well, you're always welcome to come here, Barney. Anyway, I will say that you kind of, although cramped, do manage to kind of find somewhere to sleep within Fabat's house. We're going to cut now back to to the sick house with Lola and Ailey. Where's Lola parked up, by the way? Because Ailey said, Grace said that Ailey's kind of gone into a corner. Where's Lola?
I've gone into the opposite corner.
So the opposite corner.
I'm just bracing myself for another 20 minutes of anxiety.
So are you, sorry, just to be clear, are you in the corner that you can see Ailey, or the complete other side of this building?
I guess, okay, logistically, so it's just a really basic rectangle
it's just an oblong
shape.
building partitioned into 12 kind of parts by hanging cloth.
Right. I guess I go on the other side of the cloth then.
Sure.
Give her some privacy.
Sure. Okay. So you're there, it's late, the sun has set. You're perhaps trying to unpack the tribulations of the day and fall asleep when both of you kind of feel this breeze come through and do see the drapes kind of moved by this wind that appears to have just apparated in the center of the room, and you then hear this kind of soft footsteps that approach Lola, and then you see round in the corner is Ilehk alone. Cleaned, you think? He's definitely changed his clothes for something a bit more kind of humble, something a bit more monastic. And he kind of just kneels across from you and kind of just stares for a moment. Does Lola say anything? Who talks
First
first?
of
Oh,
all, I'd like to say that if you want your fortune told or whatever, you can just come and find me and ask. You don't have to capture me with all the lizards and shit. It's very excessive and quite rude, to be honest, but I will do what you want. Just next time, please treat me as a citizen.
you have my apologies. Circumstances were difficult. I'm not able to be present everywhere. You understand.
Sorry, your mic cut
Oh,
out.
sorry. I'm not able to be present everywhere. Circumstances were that I needed to use slightly underhanded methods. Although I will say that coming southwards, you would have gone through the same protocol as your monk friend.
I have a question.
Yes, you can hear this softly.
Well, there was that, and I'd like to sit on my bed and not move and listen very carefully.
Sure. I will say, I mean,
But yeah.
unless anyone tries to hide what they're saying with a whisper, you can hear everything.
Okay.
I don't want you to
The other
think.
thing is,
Sorry.
you said he was wearing kind of like quite austere or like
Yeah.
robes, and he kneels. Is he seeming like supplicant or contrite or something like that? Because the voice you did seemed quite like he was still being very dismissive and lofty.
He may not be
Get
able to
like a
switch
vibe.
that off. You can give me an insight check if you want, either of you.
I'll go.
I
Yeah.
imagine mine is harder because I can't see him.
So someone rolled an 18.
I'll do an insight check.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Ailey, 18 plus. What's your insight mod? It's probably at least 20, right?
7 is my bonus. Have you rolled for me?
Well, someone just rolled an 18.
I think I rolled an 18 earlier than that. That was what got me.
Okay, so 16 plus 7. So and then
That was mine.
Lola rolled a 6.
Plus 6.
6 plus 6, so 12. Okay, so I think both of
With
you.
insight,
He's not trying to hide it particularly. I think both of you will recognise that. I mean, this isn't trying to be kind of subservient or anything. This is more a kind of having a certain amount of humility, stripping the kind of the excesses in respect for the process or the idea of the process he's going to undergo. He may not know what that is particularly, but it's, having your future read, so I shouldn't show up all gaudy and shit. I shouldn't be trying to impress anyone. I should just come as my humble self. Do you think that's the kind of reason for this appearance?
With the 23, do I have a sense of if he thinks he's alone with Lola?
No, you think he knows you're here. He's just approaching Lola on the other side of this place. So sorry, where were we with the conversation? Where we left off, I think he's just going to kind of, he explains that, you being kidnapped was, he doesn't deny it at all, but it is kind of, you would have gone under similar circumstances if he had no interest in you, basically, is what he's trying to say. But he's going to kind of cut across this and just say, is it true all of the grass eaters are gone?
Yes.
Kind of looks sad for a moment. Okay. Shall we begin? What do you need from me?
Can you repeat that? Your mic cut
Sorry.
out.
Shall we begin? What do you need from me?
I need, as you said, protection. And I need whatever she wants. And I point to the other side of the curtain.
Kind regards. If it's in my power to provide, I can do that.
Good.
Right. Now, what do you need from me to uphold your end of the bargain? I don't mean exchange. Do I need to lie down?
Oh, you want it right now?
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay.
Time
Can I
is of the
ask
essence.
if there is anything in particular you are looking for?
I have a question I need answered to shape my decisions. Perhaps you can understand if you know the art. It's harder to see one's own future than to see the future of others. And there's something I need to know. Do you kind of suggest? I mean, are you waiting for him to say what it is, or?
I'm waiting
Sure.
for him to say what it is.
He says, "I need to know if in the coming conflict I'm going to die.
If what?
If in the coming conflict I'm going to die."
Right. Well, I'm afraid that predicting death is no easy thing. I will need you to prepare some things for me. I will need you to get a pig, and I will need you to get the dullest knife from your kitchen.
I can do these things. How soon?
Sorry, what?
I can get these things. How soon?
I mean, as soon as you bring them back, I can do it.
Capital. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Yeah, great. Lola starts mixing up different herbs with a mortar and
Sure.
pestle.
Right. I guess he summarily walks to the other end of this place, and this time, rather than a billowing out kind of gentle blast of wind, there's a sucking in. You see all of the drapes kind of lean towards where he's walked to for a brief moment before silence again. I mean, you suspect that Ailey has heard all of this. Do you say anything in the minutes that you wait?
No, not unless she does.
Are you going to do magic? Or theatre?
Yes. I have been trained for many years in what I do. I don't like to think of it as theater.
You'll tell him his real future then.
I'm going to try.
And
Keep out of your way.
20 minutes later, you hear the thud of the wooden bar on the door removed and it scrape open, and the distressed squealing of a pig that bucks as Ilehk comes in with it cradled while he attempts to hold onto a knife in his hand. The pig does have a tack on it, and he kind of holds it in place as he comes into this place and sits it down, and it does kind of eventually calm itself. He kind of looks at you expectantly.
I go to the pig and I feed him. I don't know why I'm saying this in my character voice. I go to the pig.
Sure.
And I slowly start stroking it on the head as I feed it the herbs that I've just mixed together.
Sure. I'll say that with your Ken of the Beasts, as you begin to stroke it, you know the ways, and it kind of immediately goes into a kind of relaxed state and eats what you put in front of it.
Then after a few minutes, the pig should start to glow and seizure and fall on the ground dead.
Sure. So you begin to see, as she strokes this thing, perhaps whispers gently to it. At first, Ailey, perhaps you kind of catch this smattering of a glow moving and then disappearing underneath the rim of the drape. And Ilehk and Lola see that this bioluminescence begins to creep and grow and mesh together under the skin of this pig. Not blazing, it doesn't illuminate the room, but it does cast this ethereal, almost ghostly colour against the walls, and you can see from your position, I think, Ailey, the kind of strange and twisted shadows being cast as Ailey feeds this pig before it stops, and this soft, choking squeal begins to come across this room as the only sound here as you sit in silence until it bucks no more. What happens next?
And then I tell him, now you must hold the pig steady. I will help you with this. But you will need to take your knife and cut an X in the pig's belly. Can you do this?
He pretty much immediately kind of, you think, given your insights earlier, you think kind of trying to just overpower his hesitation, he kind of goes in fairly hard and begins to scrape through this thing. You can tell he's fairly disgusted by this process, though.
Right, so he does that then?
Yes, he does. He's not particularly strong and he only has one hand that he can functionally use here. So it takes him a while, but he does get into this thing, as it were.
Now you close your eyes.
Okay, he does so.
I take some of the leftover herbs and I smear them on his forehead.
Okay.
And then I say, you reach in and take out the first thing your hand touches.
He kind of runs his hand over the pig and then fills the X and kind of slips his hand in almost and just grabs and pulls. You tell me what he pulls out.
He pulls out the heart.
Ooh, all right. You tell me what happens.
Well, okay. Oh, shit. Well, how do I put this?
So I just want to interject here. So if this is the point where you're going to predict the future, should we do the mechanics for you predicting the future?
Yeah, that's right.
Sure.
Yes.
So I'm just
that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll this dice. So for even is what you want, odd is not. Okay. And then put your question to it, which is, I guess, is Ilehk in the coming conflict going to die? Is that what you're trying to predict?
Yes.
You get a positive reading.
Hmm?
You get a positive reading to that question, which implies a yes.
You are going to die. I'm sorry.
Ilehk kind of opens his eyes and kind of deflates a bit, but you think not necessarily out of sadness. There's perhaps a faint, almost like a sigh of relief. Okay, that's okay. I'm not, kind of looks down, hand soaked with blood. Do I burn the pig or something, or?
You can really do whatever you want with it. Don't eat it. Don't eat the pig. And then I very quickly go over to the wash basin and I rub the herbs off of his forehead.
Sure. So you take a little bit of water, run it and scrub it off. Kind of runs down his face. He just closes his eyes and kind of lets it wash off. Thank you. This has put things into. This has helped me make sense of things. Thank you. And he does seem genuinely thankful. Listen,
Good.
While I was trying to carry a squealing pig through town, I was thinking, just in regards to your requests and protection from Zeta and his spawn, I could definitely use someone of your talents if you have any interest. And I can, regardless, pay you handsomely for this. If you want lasting protection in Behel, regardless of whether you stay in my employ or not, this will take a few days to arrange. So I would like to suggest that you travel with my assistant, Nuh, who will be heading east for about a week before he returns. He could use someone of your talents as well. And I can reward you very well for this entire ordeal, if you want.
And you can protect me.
Yes,
She nods.
that is good. I'm going to put this pig in the biggest fire I can find.
That sounds great. Please don't eat it. I once did this spell, and then the woman ate it afterwards. It was not pretty.
I do not. Don't worry. Right. He seems. I would say you can know. There's almost a kind of renewal to him here. There's perhaps a certain amount of excitement, nervousness, but he seems clear-sighted, I would say, as he picks up a pig with its heart hanging out and blood soaks his clear clothes, and he leaves. The door is closed and barred again, and you assumedly go to sleep. He doesn't return to visit Ailey that night. Perhaps a bit shaken and also having to deal with a pig corpse. Right. You all wake up the next day. I think in the sick house, Lola is woken up to the sound of coughing.
Oh, shit.
As Ailey, you come up and cough out some phlegm to your side.
Oh boy.
Might just be a cough. You don't know.
Might just be a cough.
Can I do a medicine check on her?
Sure, you can
I
go
reckon
over to
I
her and
would
give her a
kill
medicine check if you
myself.
want. Give me a roll.
Alright.
Can I
In-
do that roll myself?
You want to roll the medicine check yourself?
I mean,
Oh, right, as in like you're trying to gauge if you're ill. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, each you can give me a Constitution check. Actually, I'll
I'm
roll here for
sure-
Ailey. So Ailey got a 16 on the roll.
okay. So I get a dirty 20.
30-20, nice.
Nice. I'm so glad that's caught on.
That's great.
I use it in my games now.
Nice. My dice thingy is loading.
It's
It's
11.
being
You got
weird. So
11.
if you just want to do it, Liam.
You got 11.
Okay, plus is this just a medicine check? Plus 9.
Plus 9. So you got 20. Okay.
Nice.
I will say from your perch at the range of lions, you will have caught word of the kind of comings and goings of the Oathseth. The Oathseth have been coming to Alec Farsi for quite a while now, at least a few months. You think that Ailey has definitely might have caught something and should to check whether it's the shale plague. You would have probably learned that the method for diseases that attack the skin, such as this, the way to figure out is for her to have her arm flex like this for a while, which you do. And Ailey, as you kind of get towards doing that for about 10 minutes, there is a soreness and a rawness to the skin there, and you do kind of run your hand and see that some of your hair has come away, which Lola confirms to you with your extensive knowledge of medicine. Confirms to Ailey that she has definitely caught something, and to Lola you suspect that this is the shale plague, and this is the onset of the flaying effect that it has. You know that the shale plague takes at least a week, and the severity of the symptoms kind of exponentially escalate. So there is a window in which Ailey will be really fine. It only really hurts while you're moving your joints in a particularly kind of fast fashion, but the skin there is raw. Shannon?
But it is in general lethal.
You've not heard of people surviving. There may have been. I mean, it's a plague. You can survive, but from all accounts that you have heard, it's pretty brutal. Shannon.
That was my question too.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, around this time as well, everyone has woken up at Fabat's house. You do have a day to remind you.
Are any of us coffin?
No, none of you are.
Don't ask the question if he doesn't say it.
No, so to be clear, that Corelia would have noticed if she'd got it earlier than this, given the time you spent in Osiro.
I could be a silent carrier. I've been reading a lot of articles.
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know if Corelia
About the
has read a lot
shale
of
plague,
articles.
which definitely exists.
Yeah, I mean, COVID doesn't cause your skin to peel off like stone, so or flake off, I suppose.
It has
That
a lot of
we
symptoms,
know.
Liam.
That we know. Yes. Oh, it's going to mutate. Anyway, you get up. So what's going on now is that the work you've agreed to is that your tomorrow morning, now that you've got up, are going to be meeting at the eastern gate of Behel to travel with Nuch eastwards. But you do have a day. This is, a chance to get provisions to, although you told that, the basic provisions will be provided, but this is a chance to get equipment, make connections, ask questions, those kind of things if you want in the city. I will say first thing though is Corelia wanted to visit the sick house with Fabat in the morning, didn't you?
You're talking to those three about getting provisions, right? Because I haven't said anything about going with them.
No, you haven't yet.
Okay. Wasn't I meant to meet the wizard too?
Yeah, I mean, he may come try to find you. You don't know.
Oh, alright. Okay. So I don't go to him, he maybe comes to me.
You can try to come to him. He hasn't said.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go visit my sick little friends first.
Sure. Okay. Well, on the route there, Fabat kind of sees the guards, one of them bringing in a kind of, basket with a few small loaves of flatbread. I suppose it won't be loaves. As the food for the people in the sick house. They recognise him pretty much immediately and don't make a fuss about him bringing a stranger up. You're at the sick house. Are you doing anything, Corelia? Fabat is like, well, we're here. I mean, they can hear you through the windows and doorways and so on.
Oh, I'm not allowed to go inside?
No, it's quarantine.
Well, I spent a week in Osiro.
Osiro. Yes.
And I didn't catch it then. I think I'm fine.
Yes, but we don't want you going in, messing around, and coming out and giving it to the rest of us. Not all of us have such certainty that we'll be safe. You understand?
Social distance.
No, you see, the thing is, I'm a magical healer, so I can't actually catch it and pass it on to anyone else.
I've not heard of this magic.
I just told you so.
Right, I'm sorry, Corelia. I don't know if I can trust your word so easily when...
Can I try and persuade him to my magic?
Sure, how?
How will I do this? Does he seem to have any, visible cuts or ouchies?
Yeah, he has a few ouchies. He has a few ouchies to him. Yeah, sure.
Ouchies.
Hmm?
Fantasy ouchies.
Would you say, Liam?
Yes, he probably has a few ouchies to him. You can maybe notice a few nicks and cuts on his, hands and arms.
Without even waiting for permission, can I just reach out and heal him?
I will be clear, you can't regenerate flesh. You can't remove scabs and scars.
You said I could be creative with it. I'm being creative.
Okay, I'm just being clear here that you can't turn someone into Wolverine. You can't. You can accelerate their healing by juicing up their life force. If you want to try to activate create some regeneration power in someone, that's a fairly powerful act that might take a lot of focus and energy. And you are aware that you do use their life force. I mean, it's not like that's not an infinite well.
You know what I really should do is read my character sheet.
That's a good.
Instead
a good approach. Okay, I will say this: you only really know what kind of your innate talents and instincts tell you about your power, but you think that trying to make someone immaculate, trying to remove their scar tissue, may like have the adverse effect of like killing them. Maybe not outright, but not being pleasant. Because you're essentially trying to undo their flesh.
I mean, that doesn't seem like equivalent exchange, but okay, I'll go with it. Oh, instead of doing that, I'll just do telekinetic message
Sure.
into his head, and say, "Trust me."
He kind of regards from him and goes, "Ah, oh, you're gifted. I see. I didn't understand. Still, I have met espers before. I've not. Look, really, I don't think you can go in.
And have you ever met a sick one? Don't think so.
Yes, I have absolutely met a sick esper.
Damn it. Well, then I don't really know what I'm meant to do from the outside.
I thought you wanted to talk to them. I mean, you travel with these people. Do you have any sense of companionship with them?
Wait, so I can talk with them.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk through wooden boards. They'll hear you.
Ah, all right. I knock on one of the boards.
Ailey has been kind of woken up from her coughing. You've seen these sores. You both know it's bad, but you've been, perhaps to say Lola's been giving some herbs. You feel fine, aside from the raw skin on your elbow. But yeah, you hear this knock on one of the wooden panels of the window.
Have they been bringing us food?
They haven't brought it yet, but perhaps while this knock is coming, you hear the bar removed and the door creeps open and a basket is pushed in with some pita bread in it.
Nice.
It's not a healthy meal.
I think
you hear Corellia say outside, "That's not a healthy meal," and the door is summarily closed and boarded.
Bread and nibbles.
Sorry?
Ailey takes some bread and she nibbles.
I knock louder.
Lola takes some bread and she like chows down. Like seriously, she like rips into this thing.
I can hear them chewing the bread and ignoring me, and I'm just.
Dum, 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 dum. Yeah, there's a fairly heavy knocking on the window. Do either of you say anything, or?
I say what?
Hi.
I cough softly, like.
You do hear a faint cough inside, Corellia, but yes, you hear the. You hear Lola shout.
Do you want something?
Oh, I just thought I'd come by and say hello. If you want me to go, I won't stay.
Oh.
I don't know. You can do whatever you want. You guys know each other. You talk. She goes back to just like chomping that pita.
Sure.
You're a
pit.
healer, aren't you?
Yes.
I find myself in need of your services.
They always come to me in the middle. Okay. Cool. Back to the last episode. Remember that? Yeah. No. What's wrong? You're going to have to get used to me switching in and out of this accent very frequently.
So Grace, Corellia has said, "What's wrong?"
Oh, I didn't hear. Ailey says, it's not good. I think I've got it.
Can the gods hear us?
Assumedly, yeah.
I'm not really trying to hide it. Like,
Sure. I mean, the two of
What am I
them
gonna
who've
do?
come here share a look.
they'll check me if I try and leave. Like, there's no way I'm getting out of here. Just
Is Lola
stopping past
scared?
the guards.
Amelia, is Lola scared?
Sorry, what? I didn't hear what she said.
Shannon asks if Lola is scared.
I'm as scared as one could be whilst dealing with the concept of a person that I am close to having a very deadly plague. So, yes.
Emotionally or physically? Are you guys really bonded? Have I missed out?
I think with the realization of her possible imminent death, Ailey has very much retreated into her shell. Like she's either like, I may just die, or like,
I kind of look over at Ailey and just see her like existential dread.
This
yeah.
is really throwing
Well,
a banner in the works.
It's less dread and more sort of like a resignation. Like
Right.
she's very used to just sort of what will be will be.
Okay, Sarah.
Mm.
Liam, what was the most I was able to do for the shell plague back in Aspira?
I mean, it's all instinct for you, but you think if you get to it early enough, you may be able to help. You definitely, yeah. I mean, I think you've come across people in Oseth who you would be able to tell they have a sickness to them. You wouldn't be able to diagnose it yet. You aren't trained in medicine, but you would be able to purge it from them with some exertion.
Okay. Then I want to go back to Frederick.
Fabat.
And I want to be quarantined too.
That's I don't think that's advisable. Sorry, why do you want to be quarantined? Can you be clear?
I just really miss my pals.
You miss your pals.
Yeah.
Kyria, what can you do for them? I mean, I don't. Help me understand, please.
While you're talking, Ailey is going to get to her feet, and she walks over near where you are, like to the window nearest, and she says quite loudly, "The wizard owes us. Get him." And then she sort of lies down on whatever bed's nearest and just...
Sure. I will say
Just spreading that plague to every bed.
there are enough gaps in these boarded windows that you can probably like poke your fingers through or something, just if you want to. You're not completely hermetically
I'm not
sealed.
like,
Or anything. I just want to be clear.
I'm not like, prisoner at the asylum style, reaching through the bars. I'm just like, get the wizard. I don't care about bureaucracy.
Lola nods in respect.
And tragically, no one else outside can hear the nod. Right.
Maybe she's wearing a lot of necklaces, like they're bouncing her.
The jingle jangle of the bee.
I say to Carrie, do what she says. She's the one who needs help. And the wizard does owe us, as she says, so if you could try and get him as soon as possible, I think that would get us in a better position.
Very well. I mean, I can certainly bend his ear. Kyria, what do you do? Are you staying here or?
Going inside.
Sure. I mean, if he's asked, if he said that you can come, I can let you in. Absolutely. Okay, I will say that pretty summarily, Fabat walks off with a brisk pace that Kyria matches. Ilehk has made it so that Kyria can come here, and you walk into his chambers where you do see a few servants kind of packing up a few objects you don't really recognize. And he goes, "Ah, brilliant! You came to me. How are you doing?"
Not so great, to be honest.
That's terrible to hear. Now, I was really curious about your finesse at healing. You stayed in Osira for a number of days. That's impressive. Can you show me what you can do?
I know that he wants to know about my healing powers, so I very purposefully perform minor pyromancy and just have a little flame.
Sure. So you open your hand and, your hand lights up. So an Esper then. You have the glimmer.
More than the glimmer, I got the full glow.
Oh, yeah.
Glimmer was a term taught to me by another travelling Esper, but and you have a gift in healing with this power, or? So that's not what it was. You have a gift in healing with this power, or?
I do.
That is rare, even for your kind. You understand? That should be treasured.
I do treasure myself, thank you.
Just one sec. I'm just going to consult my notes.
We'll just do a little dance in the meantime. Or I will. Oh, yeah.
And you
Thanks, Harry.
came here to Behel for the help of a wizard for the people of Osiro. Is that it? Have I got an understanding?
Correct.
I may be able to help, with your help, in turn, the people of Osiro. Would you be willing to do things for me?
I mean, I would do anything if you would help them, but yeah, shut up. The accent's going really bad.
No,
I think-
I wasn't.
Shannon, I think you're going to have to stop saying that the accent's going really badly and either just, like, do or don't.
No, I won't. I will carry on doing what I want to do. Leave me alone.
Okay, fine.
But more crucially, Ailey is. Does he know Ailey by name?
I don't know who that is. Is that...
Ask them.
The monk back at the quarantine is. She's got it bad.
And are you able to help her?
If you let me in,
I can arrange that.
right?
But look, I am willing to help you help the people of Osiro in great ways. I can definitely increase your standing as an Esper. And you can help me with something as well.
Sure.
You stayed with Barnalex last night, didn't you? And Fabat.
The little camel boy.
Right. I'm going to take that as a yes. Assumedly, they will have shared some idea of what they're doing in the next, starting tomorrow, is traveling eastward with my assistant. Someone of your abilities would be very valued on that trip.
How convenient. Yeah, I'll go.
I mean, convenient. Yes, absolutely. It would be convenient for someone of prodigious psychic healing power to travel on a journey where, people can get sick. That is absolutely the case. So we're good. We're in agreement then. Brilliant. Why are we standing around? Come on, let's go. Let's go visit your sick monk. He gets up and seems to enjoy the brisk roll, and you notice there's definitely kind of a spring to his step this day. He seemed a bit more crotchety yesterday than he is, and kind of goes, "I'll sod off" to any guards who are like, "Oh, sir, perhaps we should travel with you."
He should be told he's dying every day.
Is he ready for the grave?
Eventually, you make your way back to the sick house. Some of the guards kind of put up protests of, "Sir, we understand we don't work for you anymore, so obviously we can't let you in." And he kind of summarily goes, "Fuck off," and begins to explain kind of in a rather torturous way, he can make their lives very difficult. He still has clout within the council, so, just look the other way and I could make it worth your while. And fairly quickly, the board behind the door is removed and it is opened, and you have access to the sick house. He kind of strides in, goes and stands over Ailey, who I assume is lying down.
Yes.
"Monk, I hear you're sick."
I'm
I sort of
grateful
thought someone of
that
more
Mum-
devout heart would be protected from those sort of things, but there you go. Do you just stare at each other?
Yeah, no, I just look at him and I like the message is, do you have anything of substance to say?
Okay, you will notice that his eyes are basically flitting between yours and your staff. More so that he's trying not to be distracted by it, but can't resist. You have a rather interesting stick with you. Where is this from?
It is from my temple,
Dwyer Inish.
Dwyer Inish.
And how much do you know about this?
It is not for sale.
Is it for sharing?
or a possible definition of sharing? Yes.
For now, I will settle for a possible definition of sharing. I think your Esper friend here would be interested in.
I should warn you, this is important.
Ah.
The staff runs its own course.
And is there more? It just runs its own course?
It runs its own course.
Right. It's a stick, but I'll take that to heart.
And Ailey lies back, and she smiles a little bit to herself in a sort of oh, thank God he's not that bright.
What's your? Yeah. Okay, sure. Just rolled a nat one for something.
For what?
I'm not going to say. Carilia, you come in, you see Ailey's there. She looks fine, except for you see kind of a slight rawness and thinness of hair around her elbow joint. But yeah.
The first thing I do is go over and lay a little forehead kiss on her forehead, obviously.
I would say
Sarah, would you put a forehead kiss?
I'm not evading.
She is kissed.
Okay, you don't have to make an attack roll to kiss her. I would say as your vim comes into contact with hers, you do get a brief moment of perceiving her well-being, and you do feel, creeping under the surface of the skin, the beginnings of this sickness.
Horrible.
But you think where it is right now, small, fleeting, like a fish. If you were patient, you can grab it and wring it from the body.
Guess it's time to get patient with my patient.
Hey!
Just top-notch bedside humour. Okay, I would say for the sake of expediency, you lay your hands upon Ailey. Can you burn a second level spell slot, which is you powering up Cure Wounds?
Mm-hmm.
And you reach over, and with your inhale and exhale, your psychic senses extend into the body. Ailey, while you lie there, not quite sure what's going on, you do begin to feel a certain almost kind of sympathetic connection to Carilia. The faintest hint of a kind of emotional oneness, but so diluted as to see it really just feels like a kind of a brief moment of if anything, kind of just like openness.
It feels quite green.
It feels quite green.
Yeah.
As in the colour?
Yeah.
And you reach around, and eventually you encircle this thing. You take it, you pull it out of the body into yourself, and within the psychic vice of your mind, you crush it into nothing, and it disappears on the psychic breeze. As you take your hands off, Ailey, with the herbs of Lola, you were feeling okay, but you feel refreshed. The hair on your joint doesn't just regrow suddenly or anything, but perhaps a bit of a colour returns to you, and you feel well.
I'm not stiff anymore.
No.
And I would say, I think now I owe you twice. Thank you.
Ilehk will say, right, I'm assuming this is all out the way. Where are you headed, monk?
I'm headed to speak to you.
Well, here I am. How can I provide?
For reasons of my faith... hang on. How can I present this? Would it be a lie to say... I'm trying to think of an honest way to say I have a divine goal of working with you and earning your trust, which sounds like I'm saying the people of Dwerinish sent me. Is that something? How would I say that? I'd say something like.
Well, I think you just did. You can say like, I have a,
I have a holy task.
Yeah, holy task, a divine charge, that kind of thing. You know.
I have a holy task to come here and serve and offer you my services.
He beams and goes, "That is quite a boon." And he kind of mulls something over for a while. And you're not gonna hand that staff to me, are you?
Don't be ridiculous.
I thought
I
so.
took you for a clever man.
Thank you very much for the compliment. Well, I mean, having someone just offer to serve me is really kind of throwing me off guard, to be honest, because I'm used to kind of having to offer something in exchange. I mean, what happens here? Do I just tell you what to do and you do it, or?
Yes.
Brilliant.
I believe you will need me.
Well, I believe I could find a use for you now, at least, which is I have a assistant of mine heading east in need of a entourage of distractingly colourful people who are very obviously not warriors, and a holy person such as yourself shouldn't stand out as such. Any skill with that dagger on your belt or such?
I'm not a fighter.
But can you defend yourself?
Yes, I can defend myself.
Can you give me a persuasion check?
Oh, am I lying or am I trying to?
No, you're just trying to.
show
You're just
that?
trying to sound. You're trying to convey that you believe that.
Oh, okay. Could you roll for me? I'm having a little trouble with the dice system.
You rolled a 12.
That is a big 12. I have no bonus.
Nice. 12. Okay, well, points for self-confidence, I suppose. I'll be honest. Right now, I don't. If you're not going to give me the staff, and I'm not going to take it, you know, I don't have a huge amount of use right now, and I definitely don't have use for you poking around the city with that thing. So I could really, really use you traveling with my assistant.
Why are you afraid of it?
I'm not afraid. You can give me an insight check if you want.
I will.
Okay, you
I
rolled.
hope he is afraid.
Oh, you rolled a 19.
That's a 25.
He
Sorry,
is
26.
afraid. He is absolutely afraid, but in denial of his own fear.
Okay, and I will say, what will I say? I will say, it makes you uncomfortable.
I suppose that much is true. Yes.
I can see this. You know, I am a holy woman. You know, this is an object of power. Don't lie to me.
I would rather be careful with the truth.
Indeed.
This
Then here is the truth. When I have done this for you, I will ask you to do something for me.
He's going to roll insight. Okay. No. Okay. He kind of mulls it over. Yes, I could use someone such as you, but I don't need you. I need you to not be in the city right now. Things are sensitive enough as is. Please accompany my assistant eastward, and when you return, if there's something I can do with you for you within reason and within my power, I can. Does that agree with you?
And she says, spoken like a wizard.
He
As
laughs.
close as a wizard comes to a promise. I am satisfied.
Well, we'll get to wizarding promises later on, perhaps. But for now, yes. You have my word, as good as it is.
Good. Ailey is happy.
And he looks to Corellia. And her sickness gone or just abated? I don't know what that means. I'm not psychic. Are you saying it's on the breeze? Is it airborne?
And it's coming straight for you. No, it's gone.
His skin just falls off. Okay. And Okay, he believes you.
I think I want to go over to Lola too and check that she hasn't caught it.
Okay, sure. You can give me a medicine check.
Okay.
And if you're having physical contact
There
with her,
you
you can
go.
you can do it on advantage.
On advantage. Wow.
That is on your character sheet.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Oof, double 7.
That advantage did nothing with those 2 7s. Medicine check. Oh, my medicine's a +1. How? Okay, I got an 8.
8. Okay, you put your hands onto her. Lola, does Lola resist Korea trying to put her crocodile hands on her?
Hey, I mean, yeah.
Cool. You place a hand on her shoulder. You feel, and you do not sense any kind of sickness. This person is actually very healthy, if anything.
Yes. Nice.
Well done. Someone eats their greens.
Right. Well,
I survive off of mostly greens, so yes, this is accurate.
I've still got a few favours within the guard, so I'll see if I can make a case to have 2 healthy people released from this place summarily. Might take half a day or something. But yes, I think this is all coming together quite well.
But when we get back from this little tour, you're gonna help the guys, the little bone guys with the
Osef.
play.
Yes, I'm going to see what I can do. Although this may be a greater task than I'm not sure. I'll set to studying.
When
kind
he
of
says
looks off.
that, does he sound like he's full of shit?
Give me an insight check.
I'd love to do that. Can you roll for me?
Yeah. Nat 20. No, you think okay.
Nice.
So, yeah, you just gaze into his soul. So looking at him, you're fairly convinced that this guy doesn't know how to cure the Shale Plague, but has like really absolute confidence that a solution is out there, and given a certain amount of sparse ethics, it's definitely achievable in a fairly summary way. He doesn't know.
Is he just gonna kill them all? He's not just gonna kill them all, right?
No, he's not. He's not doing it in a kind of roundabout, like, oh, I can cure the sick by just murdering everyone. He thinks.
Okay.
He is convinced that there's a way to cure the sickness. He doesn't know what it
That
is.
would be such a Liam twist.
That would be a Liam twist. He thinks he can cure the sick.
The plague.
He doesn't know how, but he is absolutely confident in his ability to find out how.
And he intends to try.
Yes, you don't think he's lying when he says he will honour, debts. Right. Okay. Well, sit tight. Looks to Corellia. Are you going to be staying here? In here for a while? I mean, I've got the guards looking the other way, but it would be best.
Do I have to stay here?
You don't have
Is
to
that-
do anything. You have the.
No, I mean, like, am I quarantined too now? Am I, like, good?
Well, I'm certainly not. You can run out the door with me, or you can stay here.
I just slowly back out the door.
Yeah. You and Ilehk kind of peace out. He sees the guards kind of glancing. He goes, "Fuck off! Don't look at me. You didn't see me here." And then you you belt off into the city streets. Now, Ilehk parts ways to return to his chambers, and you are, I guess, you find your way back to where Barnelect and Zurab are. We're going to end there. Next session, you'll prep for the journey in the city and hopefully begin to make your way. Or maybe you'll get up to complete shenanigans or something. Just spend the time trying to harvest, more relationship points for Corellia or something. Up to you. I enjoyed this session. I've managed to just ring the party together.
You're welcome.
Just about. Thank you everyone for watching. Any parting words for anyone here?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay
Thank
hydrated.
you. Yes, stay
I'll
hydrated.
be back, stream. I'm not gone yet.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.